From Riyadh to New York, Bournemouth to Nottingham, 2025 has brought us some fantastic boxing nights. But there's nowhere quite like York Hall. I'm Ollie Bessel and we're back for another huge live Box Nation fight night here at the capital. And I am joined by Box Nation's very own Umar Ahmed and Raven Chapman. Umar, Box Nation back at York Hall.
Yeah, this is where we started it, the relaunch. So it's good to be back. I know we've been on a bit of a tour. We went to Gibraltar obviously last time. I know there's whispers around another international show. I'm not going to say any more than that, but yeah, great to be back at the home of British boxing tonight.
And Raven, a venue that you've fought at numerous times, looking around, very, very old school feel about York Hall, but it's special, right?
Yeah, York Hall's special. It's definitely one of those events most boxers want to fight at, and the atmosphere in here is always incredible. Everything's on top of that ring, and you can really feel the energy as a fighter in there, so I'm really looking forward to tonight.
And as someone that's fought here many times, the one thing I always get told by fighters is the heat in here. The heat has an impact. Do you find that?
Yeah, it can get really hot in here. To be fair, I'm surprised it's not so hot today, but still time yet. It's still time for it to pack up and get those lights burning down on you. But yeah, it can get hot, but you know, you should be prepared for whatever's thrown at you in there, and yeah, we'll see what happens, but I'm excited and I don't think it should affect the fighters too much tonight.
So Umar, special night ahead. As always with these Box Nation cards, a number of Queensbury fighters on. We got Elliot Elamasi, finally back out. He made his debut last year on a Queensbury show. He's now out on Box Nation. Huge crowd last time around. Expecting big things from Elliot.
Yeah, speaking to Bobby, Alfie, Sonny, Freddie as well, I think this might be the fighter they're most excited about. I know Frank as well, he was really impressed with his debut on that Queensbury show. I mean, what's not to like? He's a specimen of a guy. He's hard hitting, he's exciting, he talks really well. So if he could keep backing up in the ring, I think there's a really big future for him. Seen what the likes of Richard Riakporhe, Lawrence Okoli have gone on to do, move up the weights as well. Obviously they're both at heavyweight, so look, he might, I know he's flirted with the idea of like heavyweight, cruiserweight, both of them, but he might end up at heavyweight. And in terms of heavyweights at the moment, they're all in Britain, barring Alexander Usyk. So one day, you never know, he could be in that mix of the top heavyweights. But obviously there's a long way to go, but he's got all the ingredients one day to potentially become a real star.
He certainly made an impact on his debut. Raven, what do you remember about your debut, the first time out? Did you feel the pressure?
Yeah, you do. I had my Queensbury debut at York Hall, and it is one of them, you feel that pressure, you want to put on a performance, you want to show everyone in there, you want to show Queensbury and everyone there, and Frank and the cameras at home that are watching, just what you're made of and what you've got, and now's the chance to do it, you know, put on a show here. Who knows what other shows you can be on. Like you said, you've got international shows coming up, so many exciting things, so many fighters that come on these Box Nation shows that go on to be on Queensbury. So put on a good performance here and, you know, the sky's your limit.
And then looking further down the card, we're looking at Mason Payne tonight. Now, I'm really interested in Francis Warren's fighters because he seems to have the blueprint. When you look at someone like Mason Payne, he's out every 2 months. He's gone from making his debut to all of a sudden fight number 4. How important do you think that is for fighters to get those fights in early and get that winning record behind them early?
Clearly, look what France has done with Sam Noakes, who's now, I know he's got a tick-over fight. He's just had one, sorry, in Nottingham. He's got that, and he's on the cusp of a world title. But I remember early on in his career, was just out all the time. Every card you looked at Queensbury were putting on, a lot of them here as well, it featured Sam Noakes. And I think obviously Francis is trying to do the same with all his guys, Mason included. Obviously the other one is Moses Talma, a bit more difficult because who the hell wants to fight Moses Talma in their right mind? Because that kid is extremely talented. You know my views on him. But I think that's the key that's how Francis goes about his business. He just gets them out as much as possible, keeps them active, and you keep active, you keep winning, you will find your position into, you know, intercontinental belts, international belts that we might not look at with too much, but they are a key to unlocking world title belts, and that's what Sam Noakes on the cusp of. So I'm sure, look, we might be here in a couple of years talking about Mason Payne on the cusp of a world title. That's the model he's going for. Obviously it's for the fighters to go and deliver. Francis can only do so much, so let's see what Mason brings tonight.
And it's not just getting him out there regularly as well. Francis is keen to stick them in with tough opponents too. Again, tonight we're expecting a tough fight for Mason, but Francis is not trying to protect him. He's not just trying to keep that he wants them tested early.
Well, look at the climate of boxing now, especially the last year and a half. It's not only the top guys getting in there with other top guys, it's forced the lower level guys, if you like, the guys coming through, to have fights traditionally that might have not made full sense before, but just because of how competitive the market is and how quickly other guys are moving, that is something we're seeing more in boxing now. You know, guys who are 4-0, 5-0 going into competitive fights where they perhaps 5-6 years ago weren't doing that.
And Raven, early in a fighter's career, did you find it important? You wanted to keep active early? You know, first 1, 2, 3 fights, you're a new professional, you're keen. Did you just want to keep the momentum going? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's definitely important, you know, especially going into a pro game. For me, from the amateurs, it's slightly different. So you want to get as much experience to get used to that, used to the rounds, used to all the bits that come with being a pro. And like Umar said, the busier you are, the more opportunities you get for those international belts, which all play a game in getting you into a position to be contending for world titles or those bigger titles. So it's important, if you're busier from the start, that should come that little bit quicker as well.
And then we got Sam King on the card tonight as well. He suffered a draw earlier in his career, so a little bit of a different situation for him compared to Mason Payne. But again, with Sam King, multiple times on a Box Nation card already, again, trying to get some momentum behind him now.
Well, I think we're actually doing so many shows regularly is a benefit to someone who has a setback. I know he actually took that like a loss, that draw, because he had big ambition. So, but where we're putting on so many shows, it's allowing fighters who maybe have had a setback to go and correct that, build some momentum, and then look, 3 or 4 good wins, he could end up on a Queensberry card like that, because people are getting call-ups. There's been competitive fights across all the board, across all these Queensberry cards, which I'm sure we're going to discuss. So you are only 2 or 3 wins away, even after a draw, in finding yourself on a really big card.
So let's talk about that, because we've got June the 7th in Ipswich. If you look at that card, we've got 4 boxers on that card who have come on off the back of Box Nation shows.
My point.
Keno White, Umar Khan, Nelson Husa, you know, Christian Fetti, Lee and Spatar. So these Box Nation shows are really important.
Absolutely, you just hit the nail on the head. 4 fighters there on a stadium show, which is headlined by Fabio Wardley and Justice Huni, a massive fight in the heavyweight division, and 4 of those guys have been on our card. So look, whether it comes to Wembley Stadium or if George and Frank go to a big arena later down the year, someone performs well tonight. I'm talking about obviously mainly the guys who are signed with Queensberry, but anyone else as well that catches the eye tonight will be finding themselves on a DAZN and Queensberry show very soon.
And give us your thoughts on that main event in Ipswich, because obviously the opponent changed for Fabio Wardley. Tougher fight for him?
Yeah, I think so. Look, Jarrell Miller's a hard night work for anyone. It's only Daniel Dubois who's stopped him, and it came really late. I think it was the last round, wasn't it? I thought he beat Andy Ruiz in LA, so that was not saying Jarrell Miller was going to be an easy fight. He's going to make you work. But I think Justice Huni provides something else. Firstly, Fabio has had to scrap all his plans that he had. He's had to completely change his camp, only with 4 or 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now. Justice Huni is an accomplished amateur. He's Matchroom's second best heavyweight after Anthony Joshua. They're very confident. You heard Eddie's comments throughout the week saying Frank and George never get it wrong, but I think you've got it wrong this time. Fabio Wardley's a white collar fighter, that's his background. But I am just leaning to Fabio because of every time he's gone in there so far, he's done something that he shouldn't have. Fraser Clark, a brilliant amateur, rematch, destroyed him in 1 round. It's just the speed, the power, the momentum he's on, the confidence Fabio Wardley's on. And as much as Justice's amateur pedigree will be a problem at times for Fabio in that fight, this is a professional game, it's heavyweight boxing, and Fabio's coming to knock him out in front of his own fans. So look, it's a very competitive fight. It wouldn't shock me at all if Justice won that fight, but I'm just leaning towards Fabio.
So provided Fabio Wardley gets through that, how far can he go, Umar?
I think he's there for a world title, isn't he? Look, I don't know what's going to happen after Usyk Dubois 2 in terms of the belts. I know a mandatory will get called, and imagine that'll be Joseph Parker. He fights for a vacant title, but I mean, you've beaten Justice Hooney, you've beaten Fraser Clark. You're there, really. You're there. He's the #1 in the WBA. If he beats the #1 in the WBO, he's had that marking test of a world-class fighter. He's there for a world title, so yeah, that's where I think Fabio goes after Ipswich if he does win.
Okay, we're going to talk a lot more about Fabio Wardley and also the Wembley Stadium card a little bit later on, but it's time to get into the action. We're going to throw to our MC, Mark Burdis, for the first bout of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to viewers of Box Nation streaming live on YouTube. Please welcome into the ring from Germany, by way of Ukraine, Serhiy Kuznetsov.
A very good evening, everybody, from me, Paul Dempsey, here at your call, Bethnal Green. We're live once more on Box Nation, and we are delighted to have your company as we get the show on the road. Our MC, Mark Burdis, has just brought forth Serhiy Kuznetsov, the Ukrainian, coming out of the visitors' corner, if you want to put it like that, for our opener here tonight.
And please welcome into the ring from Ilford, London, the Black Tiger, Samson Aiyegbusi.
Countless great stories have started to unfold over many decades at the York Hall Bethnal Green. I guess if you're a complete rookie turning professional and knowing something about the background to this place, then it might just be something to inspire. And here he comes through the ropes as a new professional, Samson Aiyegbusi.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first bout this evening is a 4 3-minute rounds contest in the light heavyweight division. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner, having his 47th contest this evening, weighing in 177 pounds 6 ounces, and tonight he wears the black shorts with white trim. Please welcome from Germany, by way of Ukraine, Serhiy Kuznetsov. And moving across into the blue corner, making his professional debut this evening, weighing in 175 pounds 5 ounces, and tonight he wears the black shorts. Please welcome from Ilford, London, the Black Tiger, Samson Aiyegbusi. Your referee is Bernard Oyet. Who will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Gentlemen, let's keep it clean, let's keep it professional at all times. Make sure to protect yourself. Touch gloves, good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4 3-minute rounds. Seconds out.
So underway. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Box Nation and YouTube, once more the place to find this latest in a WBM series of promotions which are revealing a whole new level of talent. Newcomers, some cases, to the pro game in the UK, but we've found 3 or 4 or 5 very exciting young prospects already in 2025, and I think Samson Aiyegbusi would very much like us to be talking about him over the next few months in the same bracket. I'm Paul Dempsey, delighted to have Denzel Bentley, the one and only, alongside me here tonight. It's Aiyegbusi from just down the road in Ilford in Essex against Serhiy Kuznetsov, the Ukrainian based in Cologne in Germany.
3,
and I scarcely had time
4,
to get to the end of that sentence
5,
before he
6,
touches down.
7, 8.
Aiyegbusi on his toes, giving himself a little bit of space to work in. That's the sign of a very confident fighter, Denzel, isn't it? He's not tucking forward, sticking his chin down and marching military style to get close it's quite a confident-looking young man.
Yeah, it is, and it sounds, by the sounds of his shots, it looks like he carries a lot of power, and we've seen that with that knockdown now. And now Kasendov is just backing up, and you know, probably going to opt to try and survive the rest of the round.
I have heard one or two little whispers, however, that he can be slightly vulnerable himself, Aiyegbusi, and just looking at the style, 1 minute 30 is all the evidence I've got to go on in a pro ring, but that does seem to be the way of it, Denzel. Defensively, there may be one or two little areas that are going to need attention.
Yep, I agree with you. I mean, the way he's coming in now, I can see defensively, he is a bit leaky. That right hand just sways a bit low. Good right hand to the body from Aiyegbusi though. But the way he walks forward, as he throws a shot, he's, you know, open to counters. So he's got to be careful with that too. As of now, I think he's boxing well. I think he's in full control.
Bit of a slow start this from Kasendov, who has been around long enough to know that that's not normally a very good idea, whoever you're fighting.
That's definitely.
First on the bill tonight, of course, we're starting at 6 p.m. on this Saturday evening at the York Hall Bethnal Green. But it just looks like Kasendov is beginning to settle slightly as the last 30 seconds of this opening round of 4 comes round.
You can see Aiyegbusi, the power comes in his right hand. The jabs he's thrown a lot of throwaway jabs. He just flicks it a lot, and he's landing up that right hand, which is probably giving Kasendov, you know, a chance to read his work, which is why he hasn't been able to catch him since he knocked him down the first time. I think he's got to put a little bit more spite in that jab to throw Kasendov off, and then come with the backhand rather than just keep throwing it away and flicking it. But good round.
Nonetheless, can't really start much better than dropping an opponent inside, what, 20-odd seconds as it was at the start of the round. That must have given him quite a buzz. Not sure there's anything particularly clean in that, but what a lift he would have had from that. So the novice starts by banking the first round of his pro career, Aiyegbusi. I think novice is a fairly pertinent word to use about him. Kasendov, hugely experienced, 47th pro fight, as you heard our MC Mark Burdis mention. 246
corners, 10
rounds.
seconds.
But he's been losing for a long time, actually since the middle of
Seconds
2022.
out,
I made
round
it 34 since the last victory. But he never wants to be disgraced, and he never wants to be handed a lesson, Kasendov. And it looks like that was definitely a sharpener mentally.
Definitely.
Round 1. This is more like it now.
Yep, he's come out in a different stance. He's southpaw now, trying to see if he can, you know, frustrate Aiyegbusi and see if he knows what to do, how to handle the southpaw. So he's giving him a different look, and let's see how Aiyegbusi works with it.
He actually did think about it in the first round, Denzel. He just, I don't remember him actually fighting even for a 30-second spell in the first round, southpaw, but he did turn round as if to say, have you seen this before, to the youngster, Aiyegbusi.
Kasendov needs to be careful. He's just coming square sometimes a little bit. I don't know how comfortable he is fighting
That's
as a
the point,
southpaw.
I think.
Yep.
Not a natural southpaw. Does cover a lot of ground, and he's a tall unit, Aiyegbusi, and I quite like the look of what he's got in the leg department. He's very quick across the ring when the opportunity presents, closes the range with his legs pretty well.
Yep, he's definitely not flat-footed, which is good. You know, you always want to see a fighter light on their feet, you know, covering the ground. When your opponent is moving about, and as some say running, you can cover that ground and cut off the ring and get the shots off that you need to get off.
Send off back to the orthodox.
He's just got to not rush his work, Aiyegbusi. He closes the range and then he looks to get his shots off too quickly, and then Kasendov just comes out of the way. If he just sets it up, maybe throw to the body, so that when Kasendov does dip, he's dipping into, you know, a right hand over the top.
Good bit of advice, that. Very difficult trawling through the records to see much amateur background for Aiyegbusi. I hope I'm not doing him a disservice in that way. There are a couple on record against Burke Johnson. But he's been working away over the last few months for this big opportunity here tonight. With Simon Legg watching very closely. Centre of shot, 1 or 2 rows back, far side of the ring as we look from this camera position.
I think that left hook there hurt Kasendov. See him back up and blink a little.
So he's maintained the pressure pretty well, Aiyegbusi.
He has.
No respite for Kasendov.
And it's good, but you know, as he continues to progress and get better in his craft, he will become a better finisher. A few shots there he's hurt Kasendov with, but I'm not sure he's seen it. Maybe he needs to look with a better eye and not rush his work and switch the attack, go head, go body. But yeah, good work so far.
Few pluses from my side. 1, he's not frozen on this big occasion in his life.
Yeah.
Number 2, he went right about his business when he got in there. Number 3, he clearly can throw shots from angles. Number 4, he's clearly a very good athlete. So that would tell me that there's a lot to work with,
Corners,
even though the road is obviously going to be long.
100%, 100%. And with his athleticism, he
seconds
could
out,
soak up,
round 3.
I think it was Umar during the build-up with Ollie and Raven Chapman here on Box Nation at the start of the night here, that they spoke about this progression, light heavies and cruiserweights up to heavyweight. Some production line it's become in the United Kingdom. I don't make any forecasts as to what he may weigh in a year or two, but he's got the scope to go up, that's clear.
Yep.
That's what you're talking about, though, isn't it? You want to see a straight jab there.
Yeah, yeah. A good, stiff, straight jab.
Kasendov was on the end of that raking long left hand. That's a bit more like it.
Yep.
I think he's listening to you, Denzel, actually. Have you ever responded to something you've heard from one of us idiots at ringside? Good or bad?
I mean, I wouldn't refer to you as idiots, but I have heard things sometimes, and I look over and I think, what's he talking about? But I've never responded.
I think that's more likely. What is that fool saying? But a lot of it's audible, is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. But I think if I did respond, Martin would throw the bucket at me, so I try not to.
I meant to listen to him. The fount of all knowledge, Martin Bowers. The thing is, if he is trying to adapt and show us that he's got this jab, it's not automatic just yet, is it?
Yeah, it's probably one of the things that could do the most work, and you can always work on the jab. Even if you have a good one, you always work on the jab. I mean, the power's there, he throws good right hands, and, you know, like you said, he covers ground well with his feet. A better jab would do him a world of good. Good shot there.
Best combination that he's thrown so far, I would say. All off the jab, of course.
Exactly.
Took that well enough to the midsection. Kasendov once more playing his part in full measure to earn his paycheck at the end of this tonight. Make the opponent work, make the opponent show the crowd here, make the opponent show everybody watching with us on Box Nation and YouTube that is yet another edition, an exciting edition So everybody's really playing their part in this so far, living up to the bargain.
Yeah, Kasendov's done well to stay in there and just, you know, ride the rounds and just give him Aiyegbusi that experience that he needs, you know, going forward. Things that he can look back on and correct from. For example, one thing I spotted when Kasendov's in a southpaw position, Aiyegbusi finds it harder to cut up the ring because of the direction he's moving in. But when he's in orthodox position, he finds his shots better. So that's something they can go back and look at and probably work on, you know, with the feet. He's just giving him too much room on the outside there, as we've seen the replay. But that's just me being overcritical. I think he is boxing a good fight and he's won every round for me so far.
Take us back to your own first night. Were there a lot of nerves?
There was a lot of nerves. There was a lot of nerves. I've done a lot of tickets.
Corners, 10 seconds.
And my biggest thing was just look good, don't embarrass yourself then. And I ended up getting a guy.
Seconds out.
Seconds, so.
Fourth and final round.
We've had a few good nights here, and maybe there'll be many more, although obviously Denzel Bentley heading to the very top of the game at the moment.
Yep.
And the great stadium arenas beckon.
That'd be lovely.
Bernard Elliot gets into touch gloves at the start of this fourth round. Samson Aiyegbusi showing his wares to good effect so far on his pro debut. I wonder if we'll see Kasendov have a little burst now that the finish line is in sight. Maybe take a risk or two here, Denzel.
Yeah, I think he wants to, but good body shot there from Aiyegbusi. And just as I was about to say, I think he wants to, but the power of Aiyegbusi is telling. I think he's really feeling those shots, and you know, he probably feels he can't afford to get stopped right now, so he's playing it safe. Because enough that is playing it safe.
Yes, hoping that the phone is going to ring from somebody, an appointment ready-made for next week if it goes along like this, and he's coming up with it okay, but the losing run is apparently set to continue.
Oh, big right hand there from Aiyegbusi.
See, I think it is a truism to say that on Monday morning, should they choose, back in the gym, they could put Aiyegbusi into a much stiffer spar than this, in the sense that they could find somebody to come out the other corner, Spencer, with some Denzel, with some bad intentions, and determined to make Aiyegbusi think a lot more than he's had to do. But the point is, Kasendov fulfills his role under the lights, live on broadcast streaming platform, with a very critical audience here, and of course, being the York Court Bethel Green, a whole load of professionals from all aspects of the industry all watching on. It's a different experience, isn't it? And in those respects, I think it's been ideal for Aiyegbusi, and Kasendov is playing his role perfectly.
Yeah, he is, and Aiyegbusi's kept his cool. He hasn't really been frustrated. He hasn't, you know, got out of his game plan or whatever it may be. Even though Kasendov is trying to frustrate him and being not as negative, but a little bit negative at times. And he's just, you know, kept his cool, just marching forward, covering the ground with his feet, like you said, and landing some good shots.
I will say I've seen more negative operators than Kasendov coming up with opponent corner over the years. Certainly, he's gone a bit negative at the end because he knows that last bell now rings. Yep. But until then, he kept Aiyegbusi busy. Aiyegbusi was able to show everybody what he's got. The potential. Aiyegbusi seems to have enjoyed himself, which is very important indeed. Kasendov, from his perspective, seems to have emerged unscathed as well. So Samson Aiyegbusi tonight making his professional debut, live on Box Nation and YouTube. He's angular, he's tall, but he's a good athlete. Seems a reasonably accurate puncher. And at the very start of his professional journey, seems to have the appetite to work hard and develop. So Bernadette, the referee, is just wanting to bring the two fighters back to the middle. They're still unlacing the gloves. Mark Burtis is poised. I think we all know what the cards are going to say, but it would be nice if Aiyegbusi gets to hear that.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest 40 points to 35. The winner on his debut from Ilford, London, in the blue corner, Samson Aiyegbusi.
So that's the start.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the brave and gallant Sahai Kasenzov.
Would have been 40 to 36. At the point for the knockdown in the first round, even if it didn't seem particularly clean. Kasendov did touch down. It's a perfectly accurate reflection of what we've witnessed there. And Aiyegbusi, I hope, is going to tell us that he's enjoyed it and that this is what he wants to do, because I think he could be a very good addition from Ilford, like Anthony Yard, no less, in this light heavyweight division. He's got Simon Legg to guide him through the early introductory phases of his career, and to me he seems to have an engine, a good athletic base and a little bit of charisma which never goes unrewarded. And let's hand you over to the very charismatic production and presentation team now.
So we have our first win of the night live on Box Nation. Samson, congratulations. How does it feel to get that first win?
Yeah, good, man. Good to get the rounds under my belt. Yeah, it was a tough guy. I tried to get him out, but he knew how to survive, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Nice one, thank you.
You got your manager, Simon Legg, here.
I like Simon, you know.
He's always here to look after his fighters. That's the one thing we can say about Simon.
Appreciate you.
So you got the knockdown in the first round. Yeah. That must have given you some confidence, right?
Yeah, but I knew he was going to get up. I watched him a bit, so I just thought, you know what, stay patient, don't chase it, save some energy and get him out, break him down, get him out later on. That was the plan anyways. How
important was it to be a little bit calm and composed on your debut? It's very easy to get overexcited, looking for that stoppage, but you're right, you did stay calm in there. That was important to get that decision, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, you know, when you're starting off your career, it's better to just be patient and just wait to get the opportunity, and when it comes, it comes. If it don't come, then you go again next time, you know?
And how does it feel to get that win live on Box Nation at York Hall?
Yeah, good, man. To be honest, I'm proud of myself. You get me, I'm happy that I've done it. You get me, and I'm glad to do it again.
Samson, congratulations on that first win. We're going to cut back to our MC, Mark Burtis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Manchester by way of Italy, Elliot Eboigbe.
The super welter, Elliot Eboigbe, into his 13th professional fight, the Italian flag.
And please welcome from Maidstone, Kent, Mason Payne!
And a very interesting 20-year-old from Maidstone in Kent. Here comes Mason Payne. A fairly eye-catching show from him, I thought, last time out in Maidstone in front of his hometown crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout this evening is a 4 3-minute rounds contest in the super welterweight division. Firstly, in the red corner with 1 win and 11 losses, weighing in 155 pounds 1 ounce, and tonight he wears the black shorts. Please welcome from Manchester by way of Italy, Elliot Eboigbe. And across the ring in the blue corner, unbeaten with 3 wins from 3, weighing in 153 pounds 5 ounces, and tonight he wears the red and white shorts. Please welcome from Maidstone, Kent, Mason Payne. Your referee is Amy Pooh, who will now give her final instructions to both boxers.
all times. Watch your head. No low blows. When I say break, step back. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4 3-minute rounds. Seconds out.
Second live fight of the night here at the York Hall Bethnal Green. A young man who made a massive impression on anybody who saw it at Maidstone last month, exactly a month ago actually. Mason Payne. He's from Maidstone. He's only 20 years of age, 3 wins as a pro, and stylish, most certainly, he looked. And against Elliot Eboigbe from Manchester, but now spending a lot of time in Italy, I understand. Eboigbe also appeared on that show on Box Nation in Maidstone on the 17th of April, and extended Jimmy Dean Wood over 4 rounds on his pro debut. Eboigbe has been working very hard indeed. It's his 6th fight this in 2025. Although I must add, Denzel, it's been quite a tentative start here from Eboigbe, hasn't it?
It has been. Like I said, 6 fights this year, that's just over a fight a month. That's good, been really active. But Payne is a good fighter. I mean, he's been at the gym sparring with the boys. I think mostly the twins, Carfell, and they've been getting some good work, if I'm being honest. So I was excited to see him tonight. And I think Eboigbe is probably a bit more tentative because Payne is a good crafty fighter, slick fighter, and if you open up, he will make you pay for it.
I would agree. I think we watched him quite closely on that card in Maidstone. It was an eye-catching showing for me by Payne. But the one thing about fighting Payne is if you allow him to set his feet, and if you allow him that little bit of time, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah. Good right hand there from Payne. Good movement there from Eboigbe to avoid that and put Payne in the ropes. He just gave himself a little bit of room, he would have got more work off, but he ended up spoiling his work by coming in too close.
Ordered show in this first round by and large from Mason Payne, but Eboigbe, after seeming to be under a bit of pressure in the early moments to this opening round, has found a way. Fair amount of experience in the bank, of course, so he's getting through it safely enough.
Yeah, Eboigbe, he's just been good with his movement, just trying to old man Payne a little bit, make him less active with his punch selection, his movement, being as awkward as possible, which is probably making Mason not want to throw too much punches, because punching and missing can be frustrating. So he's just trying to walk him down, back him to a corner, and then let his hands go.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Might just be asking for a little bit more from Payne.
Seconds out, round 2.
And he clears the referee. Payne once more has his supporters who've travelled up from Maidstone, which has of course become a real hotbed, especially in the lighter weight divisions. The success of the Noakes brothers has inspired many others in that part of the world. We had a great show down there, got a great reception, and hopefully we will be back.
Eboigbe's corner, just advising him to just keep moving and not be still. And I think that is the way to go in this fight with Mason Payne. Like you said, as soon as you allow him to set his feet, he'll let his hands go. He's got fast combinations. Eboigbe boxing like this is slow Payne down, and you know the sharp combinations ain't coming through. He's still trying to find them. He's landing some good shots, but he's trying to find, you know, the perfect one.
I'm in danger of having to admit that I slightly misread this, because I thought Mason Payne absolutely started. The first minute set a pattern, or so I thought, and Eboigbe has found a way to disrupt that pattern a little bit. And again, even now on the inside, giving Payne a few things to think about one way or the other.
He is, most definitely he is. And I think that's all come off his awkward movement. Just not allowing Payne to set his feet and let his combinations go. I mean, Payne this fight has some good shots in there. That was a good jab from him. But Eboigbe is spoiling his work. He's just, you know, when they're in close, he's holding and turning. And, good shots there.
As you've just mentioned it, when Eboigbe in the first round turned Mason Payne, I thought that was all a bit too easy from Payne's point of view. And to me, that seems a crazy thing to say after, what, 5 minutes of action. Not quite, Denzel, but it seemed like a turning point to me. And Payne now responds, and this is what we needed to see from him after the first minute of the fight.
Yep, most definitely. I think he's finding his range a little better now. Still being made to miss a little. He's not throwing as much, but when he does find the right shots, they land clean. And you can see the effect of Eboigbe. Good left hook on the inside from Payne. I think he's got his man hurt here.
Certainly felt them. Nicely timed shots. All of these are well timed. This is much more like it. And the big right hands made Eboigbe stumble. Amy Pugh is keeping a watching brief at the moment, but Eboigbe's taking a lot of punishment as Payne opens up. A very classy last minute or so that this has been. And now, led by Sam Noakes, actually, outside the ring, all his mates are saying to him, you need to calm down, you might be able to finish the job if you retain your accuracy. Another great right hand over the top. Eboigbe can't stop that. Really good last minute to that round from Mason Payne.
Definitely. He needed that change of pace. He upped the work rate and, you know, managed to get off some good shots. Made Eboigbe feel uncomfortable, and he wasn't able to make, you know, his work as awkward anymore. But just that last little bit, if he gave himself a half a step back, he wouldn't have allowed Eboigbe to hold him and, you know, spoil his work and stuff. But good work from Payne. Oh, good right hand there over the top as well.
It's quite a slashing right hand, isn't it?
Yep.
And that lovely little uppercut's not travelling very far, which is always a good sign.
Yep, most definitely. Nice, sharp, short shots. Just as he gets him here, he gets a little bit too close. Just smothers his work a little bit. Allows his opponent to hold him and, you know, buy some time.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 3.
So Payne started very brightly. And Eboigbe delved into the experience that he's got. Found a way to give Mason Payne few problems. Nice little old trick in the corner there. Gunshield. Oh, very sorry. I can't seem to find it. Oh, here it is. He wasn't under that much pressure. But Mason Payne really produced a sparkling last minute to that second round. Really good.
He did. And I think he needs to keep on that work. As soon as he finds it, he should be piling the pressure again. As of now, he's just having a look. He's not rushing his work, which is good to see. That was a nice little screw shot there in between from Payne. Starting to find that straight right hand there. Lovely Payne.
Once or twice for me, Eboigbe has said to himself, I find a bit of solace and a bit of safety if I can get in close, but Payne is reading that, and there again, and denying him that safe harbour, if you like.
Yeah, most definitely. The minute Eboigbe tries to come and dip in close a little bit, that right hand comes straight out.
That's the best example of the lot there.
Yep.
Just cannot get close.
Oh, good shot. I'm not sure if there's a nick under the right eye of Payne. I'm not sure where that's come from.
He's had a little feel of it himself there. think they've got Frank Greaves over in that corner. I thought I saw him poised.
Catching that left hand lovely there, Payne. Oh, good body shot
Under
there.
the heart there, yeah. Nice and sharp.
This is where he should pick up the work, but not really getting close like that. It's work.
Absolutely, to my point. When he threw that right hand, I thought, right, that's a proper opening. Now let's see what he does this time, because he is learning on the job to me, Payne. Let's see if he's learned from not pressing the last time. He's closing the range. Eboigbe is told to work with him, and he is able to do that. But the right hand is a superb shot, and it's a standing count for Aiyegbusi.
5, 6, 7, 8.
A bit of educated pressure with doing. She's stepping in, let his hands go, fast hands. Doesn't really need to be too close, he just needs to let his hands go. The shots are finding itself right now.
30 seconds left in the round.
That's good work there from Payne. Eboigbe just holding, buying time again. Oh, sent that down to the body.
He's starting to have to dig very deep here, is Eboigbe. As Denzel has said, you know, he's a busy operator. He's got really top draw in terms of fitness at the moment, and he's requiring all that fitness just to stay on his feet. The pressure builds again from Payne. Another lovely right hand underneath this time. Eboigbe's happy to grab. And he gets through the round, and good for him. That was a hard one for him.
He was made to earn his money there. But he's done well to survive. I mean, I'd be surprised if he can survive another round. It just depends how Payne comes out. If Payne wants to pound under pressure again, I think he can do that. He may come out smart for the first minute and just, you know, find his way back in slowly and then pick it up after that. And I think he can get him out of there. He's finding all the right shots to do so.
He was grateful that the rope was there when he reached for it.
Yep.
Eboigbe in that little stanza. So in flashes, really good again tonight from Mason Payne. Still, obviously, an absolute novice. It's only his pro fight. Nobody's going to heap the expectation on him. But we clearly saw the potential in Maidstone, and he's come to the York Hall tonight to show a different audience largely.
Final round.
Up in the East End of London, but he could become a very serious contender over the next couple of years. Can Eboigbe avoid another crisis in this last round?
Oh, good shot there from Payne.
He ate both of them, didn't he? Eboigbe.
Yep, he did indeed. Oh, great movement and the uppercut off that angle.
He's going for it. He wants to get the stoppage on the record.
And I think this is where he needs to pick up the pace because the shots are landing. Final body roll. There he is.
Almost sat down on the middle rope that time. He has shown a tremendous amount of dog, if I could use that phrase.
Yes, he has.
It's a trade phrase. It means a man who's determined to find a way to get through this heavy, hard night's work. Payne cannot miss him, but Payne is seeking to destroy, to finish him.
Good shot right on the top of the temple.
I just wonder, Denzel, whether he might have closed the distance a bit more, Payne. Now he's getting the chance.
He is.
But it's probably a 20-second spell where he couldn't do it. Now he feels he can, and maybe he's going to cut it off. And Payne does get the victory with a minute to go in this fourth round. A really good showing overall. I know people will say we're finding fault, we're asking questions, but he's a very, very big talent in my opinion.
He is.
He sets his own standards, and he's learned plenty in there tonight, but the key factor is he comes out of it with his first stoppage victory.
100%. It was well deserved, and when he kept pressing the pace, once he found that range and he found the target, he couldn't miss. I mean, like, Eboigbe wasn't happy with the stoppage, but there was nothing coming back, and he was eating a lot of shots. I know it was the last round, but he was eating a lot of shots. He was going to happen sooner or later.
Took a standing 8 earlier in the fight.
Yeah, he did also.
Absolutely fine, and the doctors already looked him over as we look at the Mason Payne corner. A job well done. Another little rite of passage performed. Just shaking that right hand a little bit. I wonder if there's a little tale to tell about that afterwards, if we get the chance to speak to him. But this is a young man who could build a very big following indeed. He's a good-looking kid and a very talented all-round prospect.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes of round 4, the contest has been stopped. The winner by TKO in the blue corner from Maidstone, Kent, Mason Payne. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the gallant Elliot Eboigbe.
That will only help as well. I'm going to give him 6.3 for that out of 10, but a good showing, really good showing where it really counts. The packaging looks really good, but you can have all the good packaging you want if you haven't got what it takes in there, if you haven't got the basics at his age, just 20, remember. There's an awful lot of potential.
Yeah, I think the ceiling is high.
So he's going to make his way out just above us in our commentary position and make his way over to speak to Ollie Bessel now. And Raven Chapman's also there waiting to talk to him.
Well, our first stoppage of the night and a first professional stoppage for Mason Payne. You said to me yesterday, consistency is going to be key for you. It's paid off.
Dry man, sorry, I need a drink. Yeah, consistency's paid off. My manager's been doing a great job, get me out as active as possible. That's what I want to see. Hopefully back out in July. Obviously I want to thank Francis, WBM for getting me on the show, all my sponsors. Thank you all so much.
Look, you wobbled him early in the fight. You maybe almost got him out a bit earlier. But for you, live on Box Nation at your call to get that stoppage, your crowd were blowing the roof off this place tonight.
I didn't sell as many tickets, but still, look, the Maidstone crowd, all my lot they come here to cheer for me, so it's good. It is good, very good.
And Raven, how important is it for a fighter to tick that first stoppage off so early in their career?
It's always nice, isn't it? Yeah. Getting that stoppage, getting a win. We all want to get that, but you've done it really well tonight. You didn't rush it. And how did you feel going in there? Were you trying to get that stoppage?
Yeah, I wanted the stoppage because all my other fights I got so close, just didn't get the job done. So I've got a few rounds under my belt and I got the stoppage. So perfect performance, really.
Can't beat it, really.
Exactly.
Can't beat it.
So Mason, you've been out pretty much once every couple of months. Again, we spoke yesterday about your manager Francis Warren. His blueprint for you really is get that consistency, get you out regularly. Have you got another fight date already? It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, July 26th, Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
That's what I'm aiming for, yeah. That'll be a good show.
Hey, Mason, listen, congratulations. Fantastic stoppage tonight. Like you say, crowd blew the roof off your call. We'll see you again very, very soon. We'll let you go. Raven, first professional stoppage for Mason Payne. Great performance in there. The other thing that struck me about him was he was nice and composed. Again, let's remember he's only 4 fights in. Good composure to get that stoppage.
Yeah, that's it. He didn't rush in there when he seen the opponent was starting to lack behind a little bit, stay composed, put his shots together really nicely, and just that barrage of punches towards the end there where the ref was like, do you know what, we've seen enough, and fair play, he done really well to get that stoppage, and I say nice and composed.
So first stoppage of the night at York Hall. We're about to throw to our MC Mark Burdis for Elliot Elamasi.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Poprad, Slovakia, Pavol Garaj.
Pavol Garaj makes his way out. This will be his 60th professional outing. 9 wins. It's his first outing actually since August of 2024. He's a very hard man to stop, indeed.
And please welcome from Islington, North London, Elliot Elamasi! Ladies and gentlemen, next up this evening is a 4 3-minute rounds contest in the light heavyweight division. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner, having his 60th contest this evening, weighing in 174 pounds, and tonight he wears the silver shorts with pink and green trim. Please welcome from Poprad, Slovakia, Pavol Garaj. And across the ring in the blue corner with 1 win from 1 by way of knockout, weighing in 177 pounds 9 ounces, and tonight he wears the blue shorts with grey trim. Please welcome from Islington, London, Elliot Elamasi! Your referee is Bernardo, yet he will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Gentlemen, let's keep it clean, let's keep it professional at all times. Make sure to protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4 3-minute rounds.
Bernard Hoyet, the probationary referee. I believe it's Kieran McCann
Seconds
who's going to
out.
score on the outside if that is needed. Let's see. Light heavyweight, already 2 chances to view tonight. Prospects in this division, Elliot Elamasi, following Samson Aiyegbusi, who opened our show at the York Hall Bethnal Green. Elamasi, 6'3.5". There seems to be a huge differential in height on the stats. Garaj stands 5'11", but it looks a lot bigger of a differential than that to me, Denzel, as we start. Although he just drops down a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Elamasi, he doesn't stand 6'3" or 6'4".
He doesn't. He's a big light heavy though. I mean, I was quite surprised when I found out he was light heavy. I thought he was a cruiser.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's bringing himself down to, Garaj's level. But he's got a nice jab on him, Elamasi. I like the jab. I like the stiff jab. Keeping his opponent at bay, keeping his opponent honest. He's just come to my attention. I'm just taking his name. I think I boxed this guy, Pavol Garaj.
Okay.
I think I boxed him a few years ago.
You think we just throw this show together, don't you? We weren't. we knew all that. We would have got to that. From Elamasi's point of view, an explosive pro debut here last October. Jaro Nustes of Colombia. He went to work at him and stopped him in the second round. Nustes touchdown twice. And Elamasi has gone on record saying, that's what I want. I want to stop my opponents. I want people to talk about me, to notice me. 24 years of age.
Yeah, still young, still fresh.
What was the buzz around him? You're probably, what, 3 or 4 or 5 years ahead of him in terms of your career. Denzel, but you know everything that moves in London boxing circles, and he was in the London Intermediates a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Islington ABC. I know he's also boxed for Bermondsey, incidentally.
Yeah, he's been around in amateurs. I mean, there's a big hype about him, I think, because of his size and his power. I don't imagine there's a lot of light heavyweights as big as him in the amateurs, and certainly not as a professional.
I would say so.
So I think there's a big buzz around his power. But if he can stop Garaj tonight, that would be a statement. Garaj is one of the fighters that I couldn't get out of there. I think he broke my knockout record. What do you call it? My record, back
of
then.
Stoppages,
yeah. That's it,
Well, listen, he's only been stopped once in his whole career, back in November of 2018.
Yeah, he's a tough man. Oh, good shots there from Elamasi, though.
For only his second professional outing tonight, Elamasi is moving in a relaxed fashion. He feels at home in the ring, under the lights, and not rushed it in that opening round.
He hasn't. I like it when I see young fighters making good use of their jab, and Elamasi's done that in this opening round. I think he's made great use of his jab. He's let it be known, he's giving him a stiff, strong jab, keeping his opponent at distance, and soon enough, that's going to line up a good right hand for him. There's a good body shot there from Elamasi, a good right hand to the body.
Seen it all, done it all in a night's work for Garaj so far. I should say he's one of these very irritating characters, and I mean that as a compliment. I'll be honest, he doesn't look like he's much of an athlete. He doesn't look like he's running 6 hard miles every morning. to be very blunt about it, but there are guys who are very deceptive in that respect. Naturally strong. Elamasi is getting the jab to work. He's nice and accurate with it so far. Tight guard of Garaj. The spaces are underneath, and Elamasi is starting to look for them a little bit more.
Oh, he's hurting there with that right hand, but I'm not sure he's seen it, because if he...
No, I think he fears it.
Yeah, another good right hand over the top.
Garaj, he can't see that right hand coming his way. He's been hit 3 times on the temple. And now let's see if he can go back down underneath if required. Garaj is really feeling the power here of Elamasi, and it's the second round again, as it was here against Nustes on his pro debut.
That was probably Elamasi's best chance of getting Garaj out of there. May have missed opportunity, but if he finds it again, I'd like to see him jump on him next time and, cement that victory. He's finding that right hand lovely, though, and it's all come off the jab, off a good jab. Oh, and another good right hand there from Elamasi.
I think he's feeling every one of these, isn't he?
Yep, I think he is too.
Not thrown a lot back. Token gestures, really, from Garaj. He does just give himself a little bit of space, Elamasi. I really like the way he does that, Denzel.
Yeah, he does. He hasn't carried his work once, hasn't smothered anything. But it's all come off that jab. You can find the jab so easy, so he's just keeping that distance. He's got the advantage in reach. Doesn't need to get close. Swat at his feet there a little bit, though, but when he's boxing off that jab, it's lovely. He needs to get back to that and not start to crowd his work. I think now he may be working too hard to hurt Garaj again. He needs to get back to what he was doing, because that's how that right hand came off in the first place. Boxing off that jab.
He's not spring-heeled like young Mr. Samson Aiyegbusi in our opener in this same weight division.
Oh, yes. That could be a match one day.
Well, yeah, absolutely. All London affair that would be. Yeah. Among many others, of course. It's quite methodical from Elamasi, but nonetheless very impressive. Right hand possibly landing just after the bell, but it's the right hand that has done all the damage in that round.
All the work is coming off a nice jab. There we go. Look, good right hand over the guard. That's the shot that hurt him. Then he went for it again, switched the attack to the body, and that was a big right hand there from Elamasi.
That was really the start of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What I love about Garaj is there's never a moment's panic, is there?
Yeah, no, there isn't. He's just so composed. He's just, you know, just get through the rounds and...
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 3.
Move the feet in quicker. There was a little bit of impromptu coaching about that inter-round in that corner. I see what they are saying. Looking for a bit more from Elamasi in those little moments of opportunity. But largely he's boxed from the outside in a very measured fashion so far tonight. Giving Garaj quite the workover. Might be about to see it again in this round. Mainly it's right hand, although there's a decent left hand during that salvo. Garaj himself willing to step in a little bit at the start of this round. This is better from Garaj, under pressure. Not quite flowing the way it was for Elamasi, just at the moment. Let's see if he can start to turn up the screw now halfway through this third round. Yes, he is starting to do that. I sense it was inevitable. Garaj gave him one or two little things to think about at the start of this round.
Elamasi doing well to keep on that jab. The only thing I can see here that needs improvement is his feet.
Well, that's what they were talking about, Whitrod and Taylor, between the rounds, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was, yeah.
Just seems as though he is thinking about what Bill Whitrod was actually saying to him, along with Joe Taylor, which is all well and good. All being well, he will win this and win this in style. But see Garaj there saying, right, let's have a tear up. Trying to make me fight my fight now for a while.
Yeah. Got confident now. I think he's felt the pace of Elamasi slowing down a little bit, and the sting of his shots may be coming out. So he's thinking, now I'm going to step to him and give him a bit back, give him something to think about.
Strange kind of business, isn't it? But sometimes it takes that if you are the opponent, and you say, right, well, okay, I know Mount is going to hurt, but I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was better from Garaj. I don't think there's anything to call into question whether Elamasi won the round or not, but they are using it as they should be using it tonight, from his point of view, to work on things. Very early stages in his pro career as well. He's not in the first flush of youth. He's 24, but he's still very young indeed.
He is young. First of all, light heavyweight. We think about the light heavyweights at the top of their game in this country. They're all, you know, in their 30s.
Absolutely. Very good point, actually, Denzel. And it takes that seasoning, doesn't it?
Yep.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Fights like this, experience, you know, learning back. This is only his second fight, so there's a lot to look at,
Seconds
a lot to
out,
improve on.
Fourth and
He's got time
final
to work
round.
on all those things.
An improved showing for the 38-year-old Pavol Garaj in that third round. We've shown Elamasi's work largely into round. That's because he's been doing the bulk of it, but Garaj did sally forth a few times and did put one or two decent combinations together. Elamasi's keeping that right hand just under his chin, maybe mindful that there just might be an opening for Garaj to try and throw an uppercut.
Yeah, but he's lucky, you know, he's got the size advantage over Garaj, because if I was Garaj, I'd be looking for the left hook. He's, you know, the uppercut's a rare shot that people throw. It's got to be well timed and set up well, so the left hook is a shot he's got to be more careful of anything.
Anyway, it's to the credit of Elamasi that he is
good shots there from Garaj.
Largely dominating, but he is becoming a little braver here with the finish line in sight now, Garaj. This is why a guy like Garaj gets the work, because he's been under real pressure for the first half of this fight. Very good matchmaking here tonight, but as we said at the start, he doesn't panic when he's under pressure, thinks about the job. Little change in tactics in the third round, and he's had some good moments, but now Elamasi responds.
A good combination there from Massi.
Garaj could do with getting out of there.
He could do.
Through the middle, that's a great right hand, perhaps the best of the night, and he's really felt that, Garaj. Now he gets out, just in the nick of time, really, from his point of view. Minute to go. Elamasi talks a lot about getting stoppages. I don't think he should get fixated on that. These are very valuable early minutes in his pro career.
100%, 100%. He learned a lot more from this than if he knocked him out in the first round. I mean, it's exciting and we all want that. But this has, you know, showed a bit of his flaws, some of the cracks in his game, and he'd have something to look back at and work on. Yeah. When he does improve in a year's time, 2 years' time, he'll look at this and think, oh man, I've come a long way.
He's a bit slow to counter sometimes, isn't he? Very set, classic puncher's thing, isn't it? Set my own work up.
Yeah, yeah. But I also think he's been on the pace a little bit. Garaj has been pushing him since from, you know, the halfway point of the last round, so he is feeling the pace a little bit, which is causing his work to drag a little bit, and you can see. But like I said, he needs to try his feet. That's the most standout thing for me.
And it is Pavol Garaj forcing the issue right to the end, doing much better than just retaining the respect of everybody tonight.
Yeah.
He was under all kinds of pressure at the halfway point, but Garaj put manners on Elliot Elamasi to a degree in the second half of that fight. Elamasi again tonight looking a very big talent, but he'll draw a lot of lessons from this, and that is no bad thing.
No, not at all. And I'd like to have seen how he'd handle this if it was a 6-rounder. So, you know, he done well. I think he's won this convincingly. Good performance. A lot to learn from, like you said, Paul.
I actually did check after 2.5 rounds whether it was indeed 4 or 6, to be honest with you. You do all your homework, you never need to check anything. But a definite 4-rounder, and definitely Elamasi well on top in the early stages. He's got a nice fedora on top right now. But those last 2 rounds very instructive indeed, as Garaj reaches 60 professional outings, and he remains a man stopped only once. If this is defeat number 47, still only 1 defeat by stoppage back in November 2018.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest 40 points to 36. The winner from Islington in the blue corner, Elliot Elamasi.
Elamasi takes all 4 and
ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the gallant Pavol Garaj.
Head and shoulders, you might say. 6'3½", the light heavyweight prospect. The very game 5'11", Slovakian Garaj. Thank you very much from everybody involved tonight, but what will count most is the paycheck, obviously, which he has well merited. And he's bouncing out of the ring beside us here. I say again, I'm never going to pretend that he's going to be looking like an Olympic 400-metre man, Garaj, but he's a proper solid fellow, isn't he?
He is one tough man.
And Elamasi, a little bit of quality, a whole lot of potential star quality. And that makes it 2 out of 2 as a professional. So Elamasi gets the job done, and now we're going to ask Omar and Ollie to grill him on his night's work.
Elliot Elamasi, you've moved 2-0 at York Hall. Another big performance, a bit of a tougher fight than your first one, though.
I wanted a tough fight. It's been 7 months since my last fight. So many trials and tribulations. I kept going. Look at me now. 4 rounds, he's had 60 fights. Only been stopped once. I rocked him a few times. Listen, the music was wrong when I came out. I got here a bit late, but look what I done on a bad day. Look at his face, look at my face.
You certainly look happy. How good did it feel to finally be back in the ring, most importantly?
I loved it, man, I loved it. Listen, the ring's my home. I shined there, I look great doing it. I'm lit, I'm fit, so we're just going to keep going now.
And you want to get back out as quickly as possible?
As you know, soon as. Whenever they'll come on me out, I'm out. Next week, next month, whatever it is. I'm here to please, I'm here to put on the show. Everyone sit back and enjoy the fight. They got their money's worth, edge of the seat.
Umar, Elliot is one of Frank's fighters.
Yeah.
Promising performance for him tonight, but a tasty weight division he's in.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was just having this conversation with Bobby, though, in terms of the weight. You're a big guy. Do you think you've got to go up to cruiserweight soon, Elliot?
I made the weight. There's not a thing, there's not a thing at all. I like the weight. That's the best weight. Light heavyweight is the most exciting to me, so I fit in it perfectly. I'm the new one coming up. Let's go.
Who are you looking at then? Have you got any names in mind?
Whoever can fill out stadium with me, let's do it. I'm a big prospect. I'm only getting bigger. So any prospects we can meet up. Let's do it.
Just on tonight in that second round, I did think at one point you were getting him out of there. Just talk me through what happened, Elliot.
He felt the power clean. He was that old, but I said he's an experienced vet, 60 fights. So he just had that experience to breathe. But yeah, no. A little bit ring dust. 7 fights out, but 7 months out, sorry, but when I'm back next month.
You need to stay active now, right? Yeah.
Oh, 100%. This is my home, as I said, I like feeling good, so more fights are definitely going to get the best out of me.
Elliot, you moved 2-0 at York Hall. Congratulations. We are now going to throw back to our MC, Mark Burdis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Narva, Estonia, Arjam Spatar.
Arjam Spatar is the next to enter the ring. 21st pro fight, only 21 years of age.
And please welcome from Luton, Bedfordshire, Sam King!
And now Sam King from Luton hopes to put Spatar under the same kind of pressure tonight. He's unbeaten, 1 draw in the first 5 pro fights. But this means more than probably all the other ones put together for King. Taking you back to April 2024. King in a draw against Spatar. Here, King won the first 2 rounds very clearly. Spatar won the last 2 rounds, but it was what happened between that sequence that is remembered by everybody who watched it. He came back to his corner after round 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout this evening is a 6 3-minute rounds contest in the super middleweight division. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner with 5 wins, 1 by way of knockout, 14 losses and a draw, weighing in 165 pounds, 2 ounces, and tonight he wears the black shorts. Please welcome from Narva, Estonia, Arjam Spatar. And moving across the ring into the blue corner, unbeaten with 4 wins, 1 by way of knockout and a draw, weighing in 172 pounds, 2 ounces, and tonight he wears the navy shorts with orange trim. Please welcome from Luton, Bedfordshire, Sam King. Your referee is Amy Pooh, now giving her final instructions to both boxers.
Boxers, listen to me at all times. Watch your head, no blow blows. When I say break, step back. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves.
Ladies and gentlemen, 6 3-minute rounds.
So, long awaited, and it's been a long, hard road back for Sam King, because not only did his first lead hand go after 2 rounds, first time round, at the end of the very next round he came back to the corner and told Martin Bowers, my other has gone as well. And it said something about him that rather than allow himself to be pulled out at that stage, Enzel, he went through with it. And of course Spatar took over for the last 2 rounds of their first meeting. So I guess we can call this round 5, and this one is a scheduled 6 rounder incidentally.
Yeah, I think the longer rounds would suit Sam in this instance. I mean, the first fight it wouldn't have because he broke his hand after 2. But yeah, I think, you know, Sam's a bit of a slower starter, and he picks up as the rounds go on. But Spatar, what a tough man, 21 years old as well. I mean, yeah, he had some good fights, had some tough fights, and I think in that first fight he realised not much was coming back, so he picked it up in the second 2. But I think in this fight he'd be a lot more confident knowing that he managed to get a draw out of this guy. Probably not knowing that he hurt both his hands and not caring, to be honest. But he's going to come with a lot more confidence in this fight, which may open him up for Sam to potentially, you know, get him out of there.
King was out for a total of 6 months while the 2 hands healed. We might see a bit of that in this fight tonight, I think. And he might get busy, the referee. King, we're told, wanted Spatar rematch immediately once he was fit to go again, but he was talked out of it. Dimitri Protkunas and Remy Scholar, he has seen off. Scholar's, by the way, that's quite a good result to have on his record at this stage. He's a tough operator, the Frenchman. And to your point, Denzel, he might just be exactly what he needed before coming into a rematch with Spatar.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a good choice to, you know, go away, have a couple of fights and then come back. I mean, it wasn't a fight that needed an immediate rematch. I can understand why King wanted an immediate rematch, but you may want to go out again, see how your hands hold up, and then get the fight when you're in a better position, and he is now. So he can put the wrong right, not a complete wrong, but he can put it right and move on with his career after this.
Busy opener from both. From Spatar's point of view, I guess he is full of hope that he can actually win this tonight, but we don't know how he will go over this longer trip, of course, the 6 rounds.
Sam King just caught Spatar with an uppercut. I think it's hurting there because Spatar's backed up and hasn't thrown nothing for about 20 seconds. And he just licked him there with a left hook there.
Good back and forth in this opening round.
Most definitely.
I think this will be a good fight tonight.
Yep.
Spatar boosted by the result, first time round against King. However it came about.
And I think this is good for King because he has to earn the victory here. Spatar's not just going to give it to him and say, okay, yeah, you can have... No, he's going to make him work for it. So this is, you know, a competitive fight. So when King does move on from this, and he's in competitive fights, he's been here before.
That's a fairly intense corner, isn't it? With Martin Barras leading
corners,
the King
10 seconds.
The 1 minute debrief and what needs to happen going
seconds
forward.
Out.
I'm not going to
Round
interpret
2.
it, but there was a lot of information coming back to the fighter there.
Yeah, there was.
Which always kind of tells me that they do recognise that this could be a really trappy night's work, and they're going to have to earn it.
100%. I mean, the way Sparta's come out is not coming to lay down or just give away a victory here. I think this is a fight he believes he can win. And I can imagine Martin Bowers telling Sam King, listen, give him a good jab, make him respect your power, and don't rush him, don't rush your work, don't get into a scrap with him. Good left hook there from King, good counter left hook.
He got very untidy there, did Spatar for a moment.
I think his legs may have buckled a bit. And
he still took it well, didn't he?
He did take it really well.
He's a very ungainly looking kid. I'm not being disrespectful, but
you're right.
It's a bit Bambi-like, some of it. And again, his legs are all over the place, but he's got a serious fighter's heart, this boy.
He does. And he is hurt, which is why he's up to hold so much and making it so messy, but the referee just warning them about, keeping it tidy. But I think this is an opportunity for King to just making a bit of room for himself and find the shots he needs to find, because he is hurting him with these shots. Good shots there from King.
That was better.
And the best thing about that combination is he didn't rush in after it and smother his work. He's just keeping that distance. He's nice and settled now. He's a lot more settled now than he was even a minute ago, but in the first round, definitely. Good double jab.
Spatar is having to think a little bit. Not throwing much at the moment. King, the output is better and it's more accurate in this round. Well set to claim this round, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
Tried a little shimmy there, but nobody was fooled by that. Spatar hasn't come up with much for the last 2 minutes, really.
I think he was hurt by a few shots and he's still probably recovering.
His only strategy at the moment appears to be tucking up and going up and down, not even bobbing and weaving, just trying to get out of harm's way. It's not going to be enough to convince our referee. This has very much been a King round in every way. Largely really good performance in that round from Sam King. Yep, got into his rhythm. Some really lovely combinations up and down.
Settled in nicely. Oh, that was the left hook that King landed on Spatar. It's got a little bit messy here, but that's Spatar just clinging on, trying to buy some time. When King was at this distance, that's probably where his best work was. Good job, good change of height as well.
Needed the respite, really. Spatar did well in the first round, but not so well at all there in the second.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Body language a bit more relaxed in the corner of King as a result of that.
Seconds
now,
out.
can he build on what
Round
he's just done?
3.
Remembering again, he was in charge in the first meeting, through to halfway, over the shorter distance, and then it all started to go wrong. Most unfortunate.
Just being showered in sweat. I mean, I guess those are the perks of being sat ringside on commentary.
I told you, it's a very glamorous business. Spatar just trying to give himself a bit more space on the outside and maybe just trying to draw King on a little bit. King closed the range well there. Stays in range nicely. got his supporters from Luton. Giving a flash or two of Luton Town FC about the trunks that he's wearing. And Spatar is getting into trouble with the referee more often.
Good job there from King. Sparta's thrown a lot less in the last 2 rounds than he did in the first round. I think he knows when he opens up, he gets caught with shots. Oh, good shot there.
King is just much sharper, isn't he?
He is much sharper, yeah.
A reminder that Spatar did go down against Mason Payne in Maidstone last month. That's not to draw an inference, incidentally. If anybody's thinking, well, why are you comparing and are you setting up a false contrast with King? Nothing to do with that, but it just might indicate that maybe Spatar's confidence is not quite as high as previously. I think we're seeing that a little bit tonight, do you?
Yeah, most definitely.
He tried his luck, tried to pick it up, make it round 5 really after the first fight then, when he obviously dominated the second half of that first fight, and King has put that idea out of his mind now.
Yeah, I mean, in the first round, King was kind of gone along with it, but
yes, exactly.
I'm sure when he got back to the corner, Martin was telling him to settle down, get back in your work, and do what you do. Don't bring yourself down to his level. And he's shown that in these last 2 rounds that, you know, he's not on his level, and he's boxing beautifully now. Nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. Good work to the body, and good use of the jab too.
Looks a good pressure fighter when he's like this.
Yep.
There's King, and a little bit of spite in some of these shots.
Oh, heavy hands King has. I mean, I know that from sparring him, but you can hear it on these shots too.
Going to be interested to know what his weight, his proper professional weight division, is going to be. He's 24 now. You see him as a middleweight?
Yeah, he's definitely middleweight. I mean, as I went to go and check in and say hello, he told me to make sure I confirm that he is a middleweight. He's tired of seeing super middleweight on the screens and stuff, but yeah, he will be competing at middleweight.
Middle part of this fight, and it's going rather well for King tonight now.
Yeah.
I would have an impression of him as a fairly relentless sort of operator, King, even in a sparring session.
Yeah, when he lets his hands go, I mean, you really feel his intensity and his power, so it's good when he lets his hands go. But if he's just sometimes in there with someone that probably just doesn't respect as much, he can be a victim of, you know, his own talents. Like, okay, I'm just going to play around, but in a fight like this, or someone that brings it, even when he's sparring me, he turns up his game, and when he lets his hands go, he's a real threat.
Can be a good sign, that. Can be a
Corners,
sign
10
of a
seconds.
Fighter of true title pretensions. That you think, I'm not going to waste it.
Yeah.
Seconds
I mean,
out.
I think we'll see an exciting
4.
fight.
With some exciting aspects to this performance tonight, which is really what it's all about for King. Obviously, the W is very, very important, given what happened first time. But it's his 6th pro fight. Been through what must have been a difficult spell with the injury, double injury.
Oh, anything. Just like here, and he's tough as anything. He can take a shot. I mean, I don't know how hard Spatar hits, but the shots that are landing, all skimming off him, he's just eating it and coming forward, Sam. He's a tough kid. Lovely double jab there from King. The nose of Spatar just beginning to start bleeding.
1 or 2 little signs that the wear and tear is now telling a bit for Spatar, understandably. I think from here we'd just like to see from King's perspective that he maintains the tempo, Denzel, maintains this work rate.
He does have the fitness to do that. I mean, training him in the gym, I see from the circuits and the runs we do, he's one of the fitter guys in the gym, so I'd be surprised if he couldn't keep this tempo.
No excuse for not being in top shape given the quality of the Barrows operation and the new elite training centre. This is in addition to the famous traditional home of the Peacock Gym, which continues also. Spatar buying a bit of time.
I think Sparta's gone from the first line and trying to win this fight and make it competitive to just trying to not be stopped now, just trying to survive.
Giving himself a bit of thinking time, has King, and the tempo from his side has just dropped a little bit.
And this is where he needs to stay, you know, focused and not fall asleep and just keep on his work.
Little smiles exchanged between them. I think Spatar's quite relieved that that round, basically the fourth round, this round is just going a little bit better for him.
Yeah, he's able to find little breathers in spaces.
Not come under the same pressure, has he?
No. But it's, you know, Sam knows he's ahead. Sam King knows, he knows he's ahead. He knows he's winning this fight, but there's still 2 more rounds after this, I'm sure. So he's got to not allow Sparta any confidence to think he can even try to get back into this fight.
Correct. Excellent analysis from Denzel Bentley as usual.
How do you try, Paul?
You don't need to try. You're pretty good.
Thank you.
So here's some of the work, both ways, I should say, from round 4. He looked in a slightly better shape, Spatar, at times than when he was under more pressure earlier in the fight. Even there, took the shots well enough, and the body language is a bit more positive, as you can now see.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, he was able to get a little bit of a breather that round. King needs to take that away from him and just take the air out of him again. Apply more pressure, let his hands go.
Corners, 10 seconds.
And make him uncomfortable.
So, just a reminder to King that Spatar might fancy this a little bit.
Seconds out, round 5.
We're going to round 5. The 2 last rounds in the 4-round meeting were the ones that Spatar claimed, and I wonder if that was said to him between the rounds there. Listen, remember, first time round you took the last 2 rounds, you've got to do the same again now. So let's go after him a bit. Let's see what happens now. King seemed to me to just drop off it a little bit mentally at the end of round 4.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You just see him, you know, a little bit of smiles and smirks. He just kind of knew he was in front and he was comfortable, but he needs to be very aware that this is a live opponent and he will be giving some back as soon as he can. This is why King needs to make sure he keeps Sparta out of his comfort zone. Just keep him busy with the jab.
14 defeats before tonight for Spatar in his 20 professional fights. But a win last time out, just 12 days ago actually, back in Estonia, where he fought Yaroslav Kuzomna. That was a 4-rounder. Supposed confidence builder, I guess, after the Mason Payne affair.
Oh, this is a much better round from King.
This is more like it. This is what we want to see from him. This is his level now.
Oh, good body shot, right under the armpit from King.
Not a million miles at all from where we are right now at the York Hall Bethnal Green. Of course, the currently vacant British and Commonwealth middleweight titles are being contested. Kieran Conway and Jerome Warburton, and of course we have the now former British champion with us.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd just, you know, let the belts be contested for, let everyone else get a chance at it. No, I'm playing. That is a good fight tonight from the 2 boys, and you know, may the best man win.
Denzel has his eye on the great prizes, of course, at world level, but I just wonder whether it starts to make room for the likes of Sam King. They must be thinking about that possibility.
Most definitely. This is their weight division today, so he'll be keeping a close eye on that. He's also got Jimmy Saints boxing for the southern area. those are the levels that he wants to be competing for, you know, in the next 1 or 2 fights. So the British title is not too far away from him, but it's in his distance.
So that's why it's so important that he does keep totally focused and keep on doing all the things he has been doing since about the 3rd round in this fight. Your assessment, Denzel?
Yeah,
that round?
Another good round from King. When he lets his hands go, he's an amazing fighter, and he's got such heavy hands. They're feeling them shots, and they come so quick. So I think he's best for me when he's throwing the combinations. I know at times, it's not every time you're going to get to throw combinations, but even when he takes the half a step back when Spatar tries to throw and you know, he makes him miss, that's also good work. He just needs to stay focused for 6 rounds, because that's what he has. How many rounds? Even if it was 4 rounds, stay focused for 4 rounds. He just needs to not fall asleep in between rounds. I mean, in that 4th round, he kind of went to sleep a little bit coming to the end of it.
And the reason I drew on the parallel with the guys contesting the titles is he's now, I know it's only his 6th pro fight, and hopefully from his point of view he's going to come through and get the W.
Seconds.
But now he's going to start to come into the conversation. You mentioned the area
Seconds
title,
out.
for example.
6th and final round.
And that's not too far away. I mean, he's there. I mean, listen, he's done quite a bit as an amateur. I'm sure he won the ABAs. May have boxed for England, I'm not quite sure, trials at least. But he boxed at a good level as an amateur, and area title went too far distant from him. In the next 2 fights, he could achieve that, and then that brings him on to English, and then the British is right there in the next year or 2.
All about being efficient, largely efficient tonight. 1 or 2 drop-offs, but now the next thing is to close the show in good style for King.
Yeah, most definitely. Don't give Spatar any confidence. Don't let him finish strong. Don't let him feel good about himself. Just keep beating him up. Oh, good right hand there from King. Oh, lovely uppercut there.
Stepped in really nicely there. I think in the corner they want to see him really send out a good message at the end of this fight, and to give everybody in the York Hall Bethnal Green tonight a few memories of a strong performance. Now is the time to produce it, looking for the uppercut. I think he might have caught him with that. Spatar smart enough to claim his man. Couldn't quite see from here. Do you think he got him with that shot?
I think he did, and that's why Spatar wanted to, you know, get close and hold. It may have just, you know, just skimmed him a little bit.
King from the outside again.
Good jabs, good jabs.
Keeping watchful, keeping purposeful in his work. Spatar knows he's behind. I just wonder how wild he might get here in what remains. Good response from Spatar, if not quite the power to really worry King. It's on King now to put a few nice combinations together if he can. Not just see it out. He's trying to do that. Spatar waits now to hear that final bell. And he's kept King off him in this last round largely. But King very pleased to get through that. And already happy to see the back of Spatar in his life, at least in the ring.
Yeah, most definitely. A good performance from King. I mean, especially having to go in there, fighting some sort of demons, I guess, thinking I drew to the sky, I need to make sure I beat him and make it convincing. I hope my hands don't go again, and blah, blah, blah. And listen, he fought all of those demons and won against his opponent, so that's 2 wins for Samson tonight.
Indeed so, well put, Pavol. And the fact it's a 6-rounder And we expect it to be a W, all to the good from King's point of view. There's so much potential here, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
But we've taken on board what you've told us, your great inside line tonight. King is sometimes a little bit happy to coast, needs to be tested. And no doubt you will test him every time you do spar with him. But maybe that's the message going forth from here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest 60 points to 54. The winner in the blue corner from Luton, Bedfordshire, Sam King.
King gets it by a shutout and a big board smile at the end of it. The demons have been exorcised here tonight after what went wrong the first time round against Spatar, and now he can move on with this victory. But well done to Spatar for playing his part. King, just 24 years of age. Got a great team around him, of course. As professional an outfit as one could wish to find in Great Britain these days. So it all aligns well, but he's the kid who's got to get in there and do it every single day. Because time goes very quickly. So he's getting a great hand from all his Luton mates. Sam King, Denzel Bentley high-fives his buddy on his way out of the ring. Let's hear his take on it all now. We'll hand you back to Raven and to Ollie.
So Sam King gets the decision at York Hall. Sam, you avenged that draw.
Yeah, look, I broke my hands, both hands in one fight. So this was like a little bit of, not pressure, but it's just eating me up for about a year. Like, truthfully, like it would, do you know what I mean? I knew I was way better than the performance where I drew. Showed that tonight with winning every round. So yeah, happy.
I was about to say, you're happy with that performance?
Do you know what, I am happy. I wanted to get a stoppage, but what I've learned from even the draw is it don't matter. It's just about winning. They're tough boys in there. Like, he's tough, and he got through some good work. So fair play to him. And yeah, I'm happy I won, and I won every round. It's good.
Sam talking there, Raven, about avenging that draw. Is that something that plays on fighters' minds, maybe when they've had a bit of a setback early in their career, even if it's not losing or drawing, but if something goes wrong in a fight and they're not quite happy with it, does it play on their mind?
I think Sam's gone in there in a really great mindset, you know, not thinking too much about that draw and just showing what he can do, boxing how he knows he can box and letting that do the talking, and I think he did that really well tonight. And like you say, it's a tough opponent, you know that. Yeah. You're coming back from your injury, you're not letting everything get to you, and you put on a great performance.
Yeah. Sam, you've been busy in the ring regularly. It's showing in your performances as well. Yeah. What's next for you?
Look, I took that on 2.5 weeks' notice, so I'm ready to go any time, literally. So yeah, as soon as I can get back out, I'm back out. I always bring a good crowd. 2.5 weeks' notice, there's 100 of us here. So yeah, like, I'm just ready to go again. So yeah.
Sam, congratulations on the victory tonight. Big victory at York Hall, live on Bucks Nation. We are going to throw back to our MC, Mark Burdis.
Please welcome into the ring from Islington, London, Jordan Grano!
This is professional fight number 176. In fact, a lot of fighting and a lot of living the last 10 years or so.
And please welcome from Bexley, London, Mickey Burke Jr.
The return of Mickey Burke Jr. The scaffolder seeking now to try to reconstruct his boxing career. He returns after a 3-year layoff. His last outing July 2022, over 1,000 days ago. It was a 6-round points win at Wembley against
Our
Arjam
next bout this evening is a 6 3-minute rounds contest in the middleweight division. Firstly, in the red corner, competing in his 176 contest, weighing in 160 pounds and 5 ounces. Tonight he wears the red shorts with black trim. Please welcome, from Islington, London, Jordan Grati. And moving across the ring into the blue corner, with an unbeaten record of 7 wins, 3 by way of KO. Weighing in 163 pounds, 3 ounces, and tonight he wears the grey and white shorts. Please welcome, from Bexley, London, Mickey the Gent Burke Jr. Your referee, Bernard Oyet, will now give his final instructions.
All right, gentlemen, let's keep it clean, let's keep it professional. Remember to protect yourself at all times. When I call break, you must take a step back, okay? Touch glove and let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 6 3-minute rounds.
And to repeat, it's 6-3s at middleweight for the returning Mickey Burke against Jordan Grati.
Second out.
A long time between action in the ring for Burke. Let's see if the old fire still burns. Just a general consensus that he was losing his appetite for the game. Then came this very long layoff indeed, but he's got to show renewed vigour and build on what was a very promising career until his mind started to wander just a little bit.
And that can happen, to be honest. When you're boxing from a kid, and that's all you know, you miss out. You know, there's a lot of sacrifices that come with boxing. You miss out on a lot of, you know, life. And he's, you know, a young adult getting to a certain age where, you know, friends are going out and doing certain things and, you know, having fun, and he has to just stay disciplined. And it's easy to just fall out of love or something. So I think he needed that time off to realise he actually misses boxing and he does enjoy it. And that could do him, you know, a world of good, to be honest. But it just, like you said, depends how much fire he has left in his belly, you know, as he's making his comeback.
Shot deemed to be a shade low by the referee Bernardotti. I didn't think there was much in it personally, and neither did Burke. And what was good about that salvo was that Burke's hands are moving very sharply indeed.
But yeah, he is a really good boxer. We did box for the same amateur gym for a little while. Fisher, ABC down in Birmingham.
A real fighting family, of course. Father Mickey. Been a big influence one way and another. Going on like he's some kind of old stager. He's only 24 now. Burke. Early impression here is that he's enjoying himself, which I think is the first step. Who's seen it all really in his career, he's just sizing it up. Very hard for him to know what it would be like against Burke tonight, I think. He'd have known him, of course, and watched him for many a year on his way up, amateur and pro, as you've mentioned there, Denzel, but does he show up for this thinking, oh, this will be a walkover because I know he doesn't want it anymore? Or is he thinking to himself, no, I've heard that he's fresh and brand new and fizzing in the gym?
That is a good point. That is a very good point. And that's probably why he's taking this first round to kind of have a look and see what he's in there with. I mean, we have to see if he picks it up in the second round and throws a little bit more back.
I will wager that he will.
Yeah.
He's certainly not there to just roll over and make Burke look good in his return, that is for sure.
That wouldn't be doing anyone any favours.
There's a little exchange between them at the weigh-in, actually, because Burke still carrying a pound or two over the middleweight limit. It was actually over 163, and Grati had very dutifully done the 160. He shouted in the air, "Is there a few quid for me in this?" Nobody answered him, actually. But I think they'll want a bit more by way of an answer in this second round.
Yeah.
That's a good showing from Burke to come back. But lest we forget, and he will know this, the hard work hasn't even started yet.
Ten seconds. Seconds out. Round 2.
So Burke let the hands go right from the start and looked rather good doing it. Looked like a natural boxer with a great pedigree. All the things we knew first time round, really. Jordan Granham hasn't really got started so far tonight. And Burke starts over again in impressive fashion. It's the best pair of hands I've seen in this show tonight. And I mean that as a great compliment. So far.
So far, yeah.
Natural talent.
Oh, 100%.
Huge.
Yeah. Good shot selection, good hand speed. Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, it's good that, you know, he didn't just throw his talent away, and he is making his comeback, because he has a lot of potential to be a good talent.
Granham needs to get going here a bit for me.
Oh, Granham just throwing some back.
There is potentially one other element to this, of course. Denzel as a six-rounder. Is Granham saying, listen, I know he's got good hands, but I just don't believe that his engine can be in full working order, so I'll just let him have a blast on his way back for a round or two, and then I'll start to pick him off when he starts to feel a bit tired.
That is a good point. That's a very good point.
I don't know. It's a possibility.
Especially where, you know, he never made the weight, and it's already a weight above, you know, the weight class he wants to contest that, so he's thinking, how hard have you trained for this comeback?
Nonetheless, it's all Burke, really, isn't it?
It is. Every time Granham shoots a shot, he gets caught in between, so he's just opted to just, you know, cover up and, you know, be defensively responsible. But there's not much coming back from Granham.
Mickey Burke started boxing at the age of 6. It shows, quite honestly.
Yeah, it does.
And he, as Denzel said, he was one of the best amateurs in Britain in his age group for a few years. Different approach also, we understand, in terms of the training mentality. He was with Alan Smith at the iBox gym as a pro. And looking back on it, their version of it all is, listen, we just felt that the way that Alan Smith likes his boxers to box didn't necessarily suit Burke's best advantages. Prepared to get in the pocket, take a few shots in order to deliver, and that's the way he's boxing in this fight tonight, very impressively indeed. And in the corner, overseeing Burke Mark II, if you like, is Johnny Garton, who was a British champion, of course.
Yeah, that is good experience in that corner. And it's funny because working there with Frankie Greaves, who trained Kerry Corcoran, who Johnny Garton, you know, fought and beat in his British title defence, I'm sure. Boxing, eh?
Granham on his stool, Burke trying to send out a little signal that I can do plenty of rounds if you need me to. Standing up there. Looking very relaxed and happy
10
with
seconds.
As they were at the weigh-in, actually, it just felt like
Seconds
they
out.
were all good to go
Round
and
3.
get going again. Really good so far tonight from Burke. Sean Lackaboy is helping our young probationer referee with the scoring from ringside.
Oh, good shots from Granham. He fired a nice two-piece combination back.
It's about time, isn't it?
Yeah. But Burke isn't having it. He's still walking him down and putting some big shots in him himself.
Another of the great unknowns about the way it ended first time for Burke was how hard was he finding it really to do welterweight. That we do not know.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting there watching this tonight thinking, was that the problem? Because he's 5'10" and he's not a rangy kid who's naturally growing into the middleweight in terms of his dimensions at the age of what would have been 21/22, Denzel. But maybe it was all just becoming too hard. I'm throwing a lot of maybes on the table, aren't I? The reason I'm doing it is because it's a mystery, because I'm seeing Burke here tonight as a very talented operator indeed.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when it gets hard like that sometimes and you're not at the level of championships and all these things, and where it's worth boiling down to that weight, it could all just be too hard and be like, hey, I could be doing something else here. All my mates are going out, having late nights and having fun, and I'm just here suffering, all for the greater cause. But you may not see it like that at such a young age, but yes. Luckily he's only still 24 and he's still got years ahead of him. A lot of kids only make their debuts at 24, so.
The quotes I've read, I've learned a lot about a few things in the interim. Maybe getting bored outside of boxing wasn't very good for me.
Yeah.
It gets boring.
It does. I mean, it gets repetitive, so.
Can Granham stop this Burke bandwagon from rolling? Not at the moment. Burke teasing him on. He looks a bit fed up with himself here, Jordan Granham. He's not getting going at all at the moment, is he?
Yeah, he's not getting going. I think, Burke is a real talent. He is a good talent. I think Granham's just finding it hard to find a good distance, a good rhythm, right now. And, it's all Burke right now. I mean, every now and then Granham throws a nice combination or nice shots here and there, but it isn't enough to keep Burke off him. Burke is just walking him down and, yeah, probably clearly the more physical in the aspects of strength. So he's, finding it easier to push Granham back.
Let's look at these shots that Burke is throwing. There's another great thing about Burke here. That last millisecond, he's turning the shot over, especially the right hand. That just generates that little bit of extra sting. That's what classy boxers have got.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Fighter there. Just at the last minute, he turns it over and makes the fist, and that's probably what helps him with the speed and the power, just as he turns it over at the last second.
Through halfway. Couldn't have gone any better on this return to action for Burke so far. After a long layoff. Can Granham get busy now? He's lost 8 in a row before tonight. Lastly against Fraser Wilkinson just 7 days ago in Aberdeen. We spoke about Burke's amateur credentials, but Granham long ago was actually very promising amateur.
Yeah.
In novice titles. Turned his back on, I'm told, what was a potential football career. He was an Arsenal junior for a while. That was the gain of Islington, ABC, and then Finchley. Close quarters, Burke, angles, sharp little shots, clever little shots on the inside, the full panoply, the full repertoire.
I mean, Granham must really enjoy fighting to give up a potential career as a footballer to come and, you know, live life in the ring as a fighter. Burke is just comfortable now. He's just dropped the guard and opted to rely on his reflexes rather than having his hands up. Can't tell whether that's because he's tired or he's just you know, cruising and finding it easy.
Never at any point so far has Granham threatened to inject some pace into this to really test Burke's legs. Burke is covering all the angles, cutting off the ring. He's there for Granham wherever Granham may go. Fairly relentless this from Burke, and Granham is beginning to look slightly despairing. And if he's fooling us, he's doing a very good job of it. I don't think he is fooling us. I don't think, unless Burke completely empties against all expectation, I don't think we're going to see a plot change, do you?
No, I don't think so neither. I think Burke is quite comfortable and he's winning every round, and he's just nice and relaxed, and he's in a rhythm right now. He's in a good flow, and it's hard to break that. When a good fighter's in a good rhythm, it's hard to break that.
He's dominated and bossed Burke from the very start of this tonight. Granham has not come up with any answers at all.
Ten seconds. Seconds out.
Burke again, on his
5.
toes, wanting to get on with it. Granham up from his stool. 2 rounds of what's become a fairly torturous night for Jordan Granham. 2 rounds still to go. Cummings, that was a very good victory. There's a body shot in there which stays in the memory, and been a lot to the head so far tonight, but I wonder, is he thinking about trying to just show he's still got it where it counts downstairs? Taking a few shapes in that direction early in this round. There you go.
I think he's been looking for the body, but Granham's defence is, you know, is quite
fairly
tight.
sound, yeah.
It is sound, yeah.
Maybe he remembers the Cummings shot as well. Granham. There goes Burke on the inside. Downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Good work again. Working over his man, basically. It's relentless, this. Granham with a smile, but it's almost an air of resignation. That's the best I've got for you tonight, son. It's not going to work, is it? But it's all down to Burke. His quality performance, the accuracy, the speed, the hand speed particularly. Good right hand over the top that time. Granham felt that one a little bit. And the most important thing really, Denzel, I think so far, from Burke's point of view, there's been no drop-off in intensity or concentration.
Yeah, that is true. There hasn't been, which is good because, you know, coming back, you want to still see if you've got, you know, it in you, like going through the gears and being able to do 6 rounds in his first fight back, and he's been able to do that, so that has been impressive to see. Branham is giving him some shots back, and Burke's just telling him, not enough, mate, and come back in his own.
It's good quality work, round after round from Burke. There's no other way of putting it. They're enjoying themselves now, both of them. Branham, I think he's all out of ideas. Burke's loving life back in a boxing ring. But there's still 1 round of business to attend to.
There is. But I don't think there's anything Branham can do that can disrupt Burke's rhythm right now.
Many will be watching, asking the question on Box Nation and YouTube tonight. It's all well and good against Jordan Granham, who at the moment, I'm afraid, is heading for his 159th professional defeat. What's going to happen when Burke finds himself getting pegged, getting put under pressure, having to fight 8 or 10 hard rounds? But we can only judge on what we see. And I'll be honest, I'm very surprised that at this juncture, I am going to have to say that this is an eye-catching showing for the returning Mickey Burke. And even a word in Granham's direction from the corner. There you are, we gave you another few seconds. So now we get on with it in the 6th and final round. Mickey Burke returning to action after more than 3 years. Slight correction, not quite 3 years, but you know what I mean.
The first time in the whole fight I've seen Mickey Burke go backwards. Maybe we might get a little shine from Granham to close off this round, to close off the fight.
Granham giving us what he's got to give. I think Burke's waiting to see that off, and then with about 2 minutes or something like that, we might start to see a renewed sense of purpose. Here we go with Burke. Now he steps forward. Now he gets those blue gloves going again. This is going to be an interesting scenario as well. Blue corner, home fighter, Queensbury promotional machine behind him. I wonder if they're as impressed with this as I am tonight, and if so, will there be conversations about, right, let's just forget that the last 2.5, 3 years happened, let's just pick up where we left off contractually. I don't know what the story is there, but it could be a huge plus.
I think so
for the
too.
operation, I think.
Listen, he's fighting style, he's willing to take a few to get some back. I think he'll always be in exciting fights. That's his nose response there. I think that's just, you know, the lack of defense a little bit. His hands weren't as tight as they should have been. And now it's caused him to have a nosebleed. Probably hasn't had one in about 3 years.
Welcome back. But on this card tonight, we're talking about next-gen fighters largely. Aiyegbusi, Mason Payne, Elliot, Elamasi, Sam King, and they're all novices in the proper sense. Burke, at 24, this is only his 8th pro fight, but we could not say the same about him, Denzel.
Yeah.
And he's shown the class, as well as the all-round technical skill.
I mean, to look as sharp and as good as he had, you know, not been in the ring for, you know, over 2 years. I mean, it is really impressive. It just shows that he's just a natural talent.
Yeah, natural talent. And the next big issue will be when the hue and cry from this settles down. Does he want to go straight back in and start testing himself every day like a pro?
Yeah.
Does he want to do that? Or is he happy to come back so he could say to everybody, I was really good, you know. You remember that night I came back for one night only? And he dances his way through the finishing tape. He's loved every second of that. I hope that that is the start of a very memorable and famous comeback, but we wait to be proven on that point. Burke, a great talent, right from the start of his pro career, who seemed to lose his way completely. Many people don't get a second chance in life. Virtually nobody gets a third chance.
Yep.
So let's hope that we're all going to remember this in a few years as the moment that we remembered Mickey Burke and the moment that he set himself on the way to fulfil his talent.
Most definitely.
Bit of back and forth, as I mentioned, at the weigh-in yesterday, and a bit of back and forth, very good-natured at the end of it tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest at 59 points to 55. The winner in the blue corner from Bexley, London, Mickey the Gent, Burke Jr.
So if I've got that right, it's not quite a shutout,
and
but it's the W
for
with
the
plenty to
brave and
spare
gallant
for Mickey Burke
Garaj.
Jr. on his return to action. What a good job he has done tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. He looked nice and slick and sharp. And I mean, I would have gave him every round, but I think if anything, that last round he may have gave to Granham, that was probably the round where he put in a lot of work and threw loads of jabs. And but Mickey Burke Jr. was just, you know, making a miss, and he caught a few, but yeah, I mean, just a great performance either way.
He didn't get punished for the bit of Fred Astaire work at the end, did he? Just a reminder. That's all I'm saying. Just a reminder. But it's what's in front of this still young man at 24 years of age. What a story if after very nearly 3 years away he could come back and prosper.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Moldova by way of Romania, Octavian Grati!
Once more, swiftly on Box Nation and YouTube tonight. 2 fights live for you, starting here at welter. Octavian Grati of Romania.
And into the ring, please welcome from the UK by way of Ghana, Emmanuel Ashong!
Emmanuel Ashong, it's his second pro fight. A very impressive pro debut last November against Paul Scaife. The 4th round stoppage. Went out fast, went out hard, overwhelmed Scaife really. But Ashong doesn't want us to think we can expect that from him every night. He says, I am more of a mover, a back foot counter puncher. I like to pick my shots. So let's see if tonight we'll get that version of Emmanuel Ashong.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout this evening is a full 3-minute rounds contest in the super welterweight division. Firstly, in the red corner, with over 90 contests to his name, weighing in 153 pounds at 3 ounces, and tonight he wears the black shorts with white trim. Please welcome, from Moldova by way of Romania, Octavian Grati! And across the ring in the blue corner, with a record of 1 win from 1 by way of knockout, weighing in 153 pounds 6 ounces, and tonight He wears the grey and black shorts. Please welcome from the UK, by way of Ghana, Emmanuel Ashong. Your referee is Amy Poo, who will now give her final instructions to both boxers.
Right, boxers, listen to me at all times. Watch your heads, no low blows. When I say break, step back. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Thank you.
This is 4 3-minute rounds.
Thanks once more to Mark Burdiss, super welterweight. Emmanuel Ashong, second pro outing. Here at the York Hall Bethnal Green against Octavian Grati. Ashong's 26. So a little bit of a mystery surrounding him, his background. But he certainly made a really, really good impression on his pro debut. Has sparred Hamza Shiraz in the United States, I'm told, so I guess that's where a lot of the background work has been done. They both weighed just a tiny amount under the 11-stone limit for this fight, but there has been a suggestion that he intends to be a welterweight rather than a super welterweight.
The power and the speed in that backhand he just threw there.
That was good, wasn't it?
It was. It looks pretty big though. If he can make welterweight, then he'd be a problem. If he can make it healthy.
The flag of Ghana at the back of the black trunks. The Union Jack on the right hip. And he's going to strike a chord or two with Denzel Bentley. Denzel, of course, a similar background. Nation with an immense boxing history. Not these days. I mean, most of the best fighters of Ghanaian blood are fighting overseas.
Yeah, it's true. They are.
Like
I mean,
Denzel.
that's where the opportunities are. So we've got to take opportunities. I mean, he's out here, he's representing, and hopefully he does well and can, get the backing of the nation.
Well, I say again, I have been to Ghana actually in search of the great tradition, the Bukum School of Boxing, where the immortal Azuma Nelson was one of the star pupils, but so many other top-line fighters came from that one gym and that one area. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work like that anymore. And wouldn't it be amazing if some of you guys could start to put together some big event boxing in Ghana? Because I'll tell you what, the nation is absolutely crazy about boxing.
100%. Bukum as well, there's a lot of history in that gym and in that area, Jamestown, with boxing. And just as you speak of big shows being in Ghana, Amir Khan has linked up with a promotional company in Ghana that's run by the president's son, Muhammad.
Wow, that's interesting.
They are putting on a big show in June, which I'll be out there commentating too. So I look forward to it and seeing some new talent from Ghana.
Letting the hands go here early on is Ashong.
He is nice and patient, nice and relaxed. Hasn't rushed his work. He showed good power in that backhand. Good combination right there just before the bell.
Crowd rises to his work in the opening round. It's a very good start tonight. Deep in thought, looks a bit nervous to me. Perhaps understandably, still finding his feet as a pro.
10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 2.
I mean, yeah, going into your second bout, it's understandable, still trying to, find your feet and find that rhythm. But I think he started off well, especially in that first round. I mean,
yeah, should have been more pleased with what he showed, I think.
Yeah. I mean, everyone comes out and everyone wants to dominate and everyone wants to big knockout, but that's not how it goes. You're in there with someone else that's, you know, going to try, and, you know, you never know what to expect, so you've always got to be on point and know what's coming back. But he's showing some good power, he's showing some good speed as well. He's really fast hands.
Grati is much shorter and he's dropping at every opportunity onto his haunches almost. So that means that Ashong is having to punch down the whole time.
That's a good stab to the body.
Positive start to this second round from Grati. Could do with giving himself a bit of room to work with. I think Ashong eventually got the message.
Oh, well found, that body shot right there on the inside. I mean, Grati keeps complaining, I keep seeing him raising his arm as if to say Ashong's hitting him low, but I think he's finding them body shots really clean.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and more importantly, the referee does.
Yeah, and I think just because of that, he should go straight back down there because it's clearly bothering him.
Good intentions early in this second round from Grati, but as it's going along, Ashong is beginning to put him under pressure. Let's see if he can continue. Grati makes him back off. Not really got going in this second round particularly well just yet, Ashong. And I think largely that's to the credit of Grati, isn't it, Denzel?
Yeah, it is. He's got an awkward style. I mean, when he does throw at you, he leaps at you where he's so small. And sometimes it's harder fighting a shorter man. It's either like, do you box tall or do you go down to their height? And right now, I don't think Ashong's kind of figured out the best way to fight.
Both things in this second round.
And even when Grati comes in and throws the punches, like his feet cross, he's very awkward. He's hard to kind of read, so you don't want to open up and, you know, make a mistake. So I think Ashong's doing the best he can with what he's got in front of him.
Grati's going to be well pleased with himself in that round, I think, because Ashong had started in very, very good style indeed. Two little puzzles to solve for Emmanuel Ashong. What would you be saying to him in that corner right now?
I think I'll be telling him to just stay relaxed and
10
not try to force his work. Just keep off that jab, and, you know, the right shots will come at the right time. Just keep pushing that jab in his face.
Ashong grabs the centre of the ring. Let's see if he can grab back the attention here. Grati has found a way, found a style in this fight, which seems to be troubling Ashong a little bit.
There we go. I think he's got such a good jab, Ashong. I think he just keep popping it. I know the style of Grati is awkward. He just leaps in and throws big, you know, sweeping hooks.
But if he's there in the pocket when he does that, because Grati's going off balance the whole time. So at the end of every exchange, he's there for the taking.
You are right, he is. Because he comes off his feet when he throws these shots.
There, the best example of the lot right there. But if you let him lead off, that's what happens. You get frustrated then.
Yeah.
Twos and threes, they're telling him in the corner. They're quite right about that.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how simple boxing gets sometimes.
Yeah, and I always say it's simple but not easy.
Yes.
the simplest things win you the fight, but Oh, lovely shot there from Ashong. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like to complicate boxing. And oh, lovely hook again. Lovely counter on the hook.
A little powerhouse of a man as Octavian Grati.
You should work there, Ashong. Look for the body. There we go. Good shots.
It's not automatic though, is it? And it doesn't scream confidence at me somehow.
Yeah.
The talent is very obvious.
Yeah.
The potential is huge. But he's probably not fought anybody like Grati before, and it's showing in this fight.
And this is where fighters learn best. I mean, getting in at this stage with someone like Grati, that's going to be so awkward. I mean, you're not going to find sparring like this. You're not. Sparring's a lot more easier to read.
Exactly.
Someone that's really good, and then when you get someone awkward like Grati.
See, the thing is, people like Grati don't need the money from sparring because they're getting such regular work, because they're competent at what they do, that they're getting ready for the next fight each weekend as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So all they want to do is move around.
Exactly,
during the week.
And yeah, no, you're right.
So Ashong doing his best to solve the puzzle. Largely, he is doing so.
He is. He's finding some nice shots in spurts at times. But when Grati comes back with, you know, his wild shots, if he can counter in between them, he'll get a lot more success. When Ashong goes to the body, it's beautiful. I mean, that straight back to the body was good, and that counter left there that we just see now. But then Grati just comes in close and, you know, smothers his work and closes down that gap, that space.
I did say at the end of the first round, which he'd done rather well in, incidentally, there was just something about looking at him in the corner.
10
that
seconds.
He didn't look completely confident in what he was setting out to do, and I think we've seen that borne out in the 2 rounds since. It's a 4-rounder. We're into the last round.
Beats his chest. I think he wants to have a scrap this last round. I mean, that gives me the impression that he may not be completely happy with his performance so far, but I mean, he's had to deal with what's in front of him, and I think he's done well to deal with it. I mean, it could always be better, but like you said, a style like Grati's is hard to find. You can't get ready for that. In my opinion, he's won every round too, Ashong, so.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, it's his second pro fight, so everything has to be filtered through that.
100%.
And I think you are right when you say he's probably never encountered anybody like this before.
He found some good body shots in the opening, 30 seconds. I think he needs to find them shots again. But it's always hard going to the body of the smaller man. But he's finding some good body shots, Ashong.
Quite a pause in the action there. Ashong not tempted to take too many risks. As I mentioned, his quotes coming into this job this week: I'm a counter-puncher, I like to pick my shots. That's all well and good when you're facing up to somebody roughly of similar stature, but when you're punching down the whole time, it's a much, much different proposition.
Yeah, most definitely.
Styles make fights, to use the oldest of all the old adages. A minute to go. At no stage has Octavian Grati been discouraged. At no stage has Ashong cruised his way clear. It's been rough and tumble like that for most of the way tonight. Flashes of excellent boxing from Ashong. But hard work. It's been hard for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been hard for him to figure out Grati's awkward style.
That was a good counter punch.
It was.
Not seen enough of them. Might have been a case tonight for a bit more of the old first and third boxing. Jab, then wait.
Most definitely. I think being able to adjust your style, says a lot about you as a fighter. And even though you like fighting one way, if you need to fight another way to win, it shows about character.
But what a learning experience it has been, certainly. And Grati deserves credit because Grati has made Ashong think and work every second of that.
He has indeed.
Is there any way Grati gets his hopes up about taking a round, do you think?
No, I don't think so. He's done some good work in spurts, making it awkward for Ashong, but I think Ashong landed the better punches, the better shots all the way through the fight. I'd be surprised if Grati won a round, to be honest.
Amy Pugh is waiting for Grati to return from his corner. Ashong is already celebrating, and what is most important is what is on that scorecard, and we'll now hear from Mark Burdis.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores a contest 39 points to 37. The winner in the blue corner from the UK by way of Ghana, Emmanuel Ashong.
Ashong gets it. I'm not that surprised
And a round of
that
applause,
somewhere
please, for
he dropped a round, and I don't think that's a bad
Garaj.
thing at all.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. He's still got the victory, and he can also go back and look at this fight and pick up things that weren't so good.
Absolutely, Denzel. The lesson learned tonight could be of huge value going forward. It is his second pro victory, and still he remains a very interesting newcomer. I'd love to see this kid again in about a year from now. I think he could be a fighter who could really improve very quickly indeed.
I think so too, and I'd also have to see if and how he makes welterweight, because he does look quite big to me, and I hope it doesn't affect him if he does make it. I don't know how easy he makes light middle, but I think light middle would be a weight that suits him really good, because there's a lot of spite in his shots, got a lot of skill, a lot of good reflexes.
We're not seeing it now with the tracksuit back on, but he's massive across the shoulders, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But maybe he feels he makes light middle too easy, so he wants to try and make welter. We'll see.
Going to send good wishes to everybody out in Ghana, probably catching up with this performance tonight.
Yep, I'm sure they'll be impressed, that there's a new Ghanaian on the scene, making noise and representing the country.
Please welcome into the ring from Edgware, London, Lee Roberts. And from Lewisham, London, please welcome Devon Miller.
showman about Devorn Miller, and I think we're about to find that out. Eight wins in his 11 pro fights so far.
Our last bout this evening is a 6 3-minute rounds contest in the cruiserweight division. In the red corner, with 1 win coming by way of knockout and 1 loss, weighing in 196 pounds 7 ounces, and tonight he wears the silver and black shorts. Please welcome from Edgware, London, Lee Roberts. And across the ring in the blue corner, with 8 wins, 6 by way of knockout and 3 losses, weighing in 202 pounds, and tonight he wears the black shorts. Please welcome from Lewisham, London, Devorn Miller. Your referee in charge is Mr. Sean McAvoy of Islington, who will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, lads, 6-round contest. Keep it clean at all times. Keep yourself protected at all times. Touch gloves. Here we go. Good luck, lads.
Ladies and gentlemen, 6 3-minute rounds.
Sean McAvoy takes over on refereeing duty for this cruiserweight meeting of Devorn Miller and Lee Roberts.
Seconds out.
As he lived a varied life out of the ring one way and another. He was a footballer for a while, latterly on the books of Charlton Athletic. He has owned a restaurant, and he's been a sparring partner to Alexander Usyk, in addition to trading leather for money in the pro ring all around Europe. Lee Roberts, well, on his pro debut. His day job, if you like, is as a carpenter.
Heavy shots going in from both boxers. I think I'd give Miller the slight edge in this competition from what I've seen so far.
He's a bit wide open, isn't he, Roberts?
He is.
Got to be wary that he most certainly can punch. Interesting choice by Alexander Usyk, who would probably have the alphabet to choose from in terms of sparring partners. What an experience that must have been for Miller.
100%. I mean, getting called into camp for, you know, one of the best fighters of our generation, I mean, should only be grateful, and I'd hope for his sake that he learned a lot from Usyk and how he manages his camps and how he prepares for a fight.
Miller, dangerous early. 4 wins in the first round, 6 wins inside 2 rounds. Roberts got off the corner smartly there. He turned very nicely. I just want to go back to a little point about Mason Payne, and I don't know whether you'll ever see this or hear these comments, but there was a moment in that Mason Payne fight tonight where he didn't. He got turned onto the rope and he just sat there.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
We both noticed at the time, didn't we? Just a little thing, but Lee Roberts showed him how it should be done there.
I mean, Lee Roberts just coming back into this round, landing some good shots. I mean, he's just been, you know, a little bit stubborn in the sense of when he gets hit, he's not, you know, folding or taking a big step back.
Excellent adjective there, Denzel. And again, he's off the rope quickly, not really allowing Miller to try to settle properly. And here he comes himself now. 10 seconds left in this opening round. It's scheduled 6 rounds. Good contest, back and forth. Very good shot to finish it underneath from Miller, who bossed it early. Then there was a little spell for Roberts. Quite an interesting job of scoring that round, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, I think Miller here needs a win, in my opinion. I mean, I think for his own sake, for his own confidence, he's been on a few big shows on some big platforms and he's come up short. So I think if he wants to get back there and the opportunities are there, he's got to beat guys like Lee Roberts to get back there. But Lee Roberts isn't, you know, he's not here to lay down. He's fighting back. He's not taking no for an answer, and he's trying his best to, you know, win this contest. From what I've seen so far.
It's an implacable sort of fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Not much bothers him.
It's
Seconds
the quiet
out.
ones that are the dangerous ones. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Potentially intriguing cruiserweight matchup here at the York Hall Bethnal Green, live on Box Nation and YouTube. Thank you already for joining us once more. Warren Boxing Management putting on this show, the latest in a series where we're allowing the platform to some really talented youngsters and one or two more seasoned fighters who maybe have been under the radar a little bit. Roberts immediately back on his feet. Here comes Sean McAvoy. Keep it clean, last words from McAvoy. There's the possibility here tonight that Roberts could start to frustrate Miller, especially if he gets through this second round marker.
Good counter left foot there from Miller. Roberts just got caught rushing in a little bit. Miller boxing well, but I think he needs to start changing the pace soon. Not allowing Lee Roberts to get comfortable and try and find his range, like he just did there with a jab.
It's beginning to happen like that, but maybe the issue here is Miller saying all the time to himself in his head, 2 rounds, normally I get the guy out there by the end of the second round, I'm going to get him out, so he's looking for this big shot. He's got a minute to keep up the track record. I think you should put it to one side, do you, and start boxing.
100%. I mean, when you're thinking about these things, the rounds just go by so quickly, and before you realise that you're at the end of the fight and you've missed opportunity. So just start putting them together, doing a bit, taking the confidence away from Roberts. He is throwing some good shots and landing some good shots, but Roberts is just coming forward. I feel like he's going to give him confidence if he keeps fighting at this pace.
Roberts happy to step in. Nice intentions there from Miller downstairs, but he didn't quite connect cleanly. The left to the body. Right hand over the top was a sharp shot, but Roberts has taken everything so far. Out of time in this second round. Right on the bell.
Good end to that round from Miller.
Might have had a few extra seconds to keep that strike rate up. Getting the job done in the second round, I think.
Yeah.
There's a bit of helpful timekeeping going on there. Probably it didn't make any difference.
It did.
There is a lot of target to aim for with Roberts, and he does rather keep his chin exposed.
10 seconds.
He does. His chin is high when he's throwing his shots. You've got to be careful with that. That's what's
Seconds
allowing
out.
Miller to
Round
catch him on the
3.
counters.
So here we go. It's the third round in our cruiserweight attraction here at the York Hall tonight. Former Charlton Athletic hopeful, young player there, Devon Miller. Career ended by injury. I'm looking at him thinking he has to have been a centre-back. I don't know that as a fact, but either that or a strapping centre-forward. They've had a few of them over the years. Might be completely wrong. Anyway, sadly an injury put paid to his footballing ambitions, but he has told people he always really wanted to be a boxer anyway.
Not fair enough, so I guess he's living his dream then.
Double jab ABC in South London. Not only has he sparred Usyk, but also Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, Arif Bradis.
Wow, that is solid experience. Oh, good right hand there from Miller.
Now he comes.
And this is the pace he needs to fight at. Take control of the ring, take control of the contest.
They want a bit more urgency from that corner. Step into him. Half steps. Roberts in his own steady rhythm. Hard man to discourage. Stoic approach to the job. Always there, dogged, determined. A nod of the head respectfully from Miller. Some of the shots from Miller are looking good at the back of the hall tonight, Denzel, but I'm not sure how truly on the money they've been so far. Roberts has taken nearly everything rather well.
He has taken it well, and he's come back with his own too. Like just direct body and head. Miller needs to get back to his shape, but when he was catching Roberts with them 1-2s, it was really good.
And again, Roberts just refuses to allow Miller an easy passage through these rounds. Looking to win the last 30 seconds, if not more than that. Good work from Miller early in the third round, and Roberts finishing strongly and determinedly. So far, Miller cannot discourage Roberts, and there's more encouragement from Roberts' side at the end of the round.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Roberts has just got to keep with that work, and Miller's got to, you know, hope he can keep with that pace and not fade and allow Roberts to gain too much confidence and take over. Right now, I think Miller is up, but Roberts is in this fight.
Strong,
10
quiet
seconds.
man, Lee Roberts.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Devorn Miller may be shading it through the first 3 rounds. Not one-sided though here tonight against Lee Roberts.
It's probably more competitive than I expected.
Me too. Set in the corner to Lee Roberts, we've got to win the next 3, so maybe they feel they've done okay, but they've not quite done enough to win them. They can afford to have hopes that they could inflict what would be a very damaging fourth defeat on Miller here tonight. And Roberts, true to type, forces Miller back.
Miller's got to be very careful he doesn't let these rounds slip away, just being pushed back and allowing Roberts to just, you know, let his hands go. He's got to be really dominant. I'd rather see him hold the centre of the ring and let off his shots. Right here, doesn't look good for whoever's scoring the fight.
In this case, the referee, Sean McAvoy. Oh, he
Good
made
shot
space
there
for
from
himself,
Miller.
lovely. That was a really classy move from Miller.
That was
Usyk taught him that one, you know. But yet again, here's the pattern of this fight. Roberts just refuses to be outboxed.
Good shot there from Miller.
It was
Big
delivered
right hand.
with pace and bad intentions that time.
But he doesn't throw enough of them. He used to throw a lot of shots with bad intentions. I mean, I don't know whether he's saving himself, but it's a 6-rounder. He should be able to work at, you know, a certain pace. Good shot. There we go. Good
Roberts
shot.
is hurt. McAvoy steps in and stops it. And Devon Miller explodes the action. Lee Roberts is stopped on his feet. Not everybody in the crowd is happy with that decision, but there was nobody closer to it than Sean McAvoy.
That was good. That was good. That's the pace. That's the change of pace we needed to see. When he was letting the big shots go, they were effective, but he weren't doing it enough. The minute he let his hands go and threw more than 2 shots, he got him out of there. Good work from Miller.
He exploded here in this 4th round. Roberts maybe thought about touching down. There were little protests from Roberts, I must say. Now he's engaging with the doctor as if to say, "Doctor, I'm absolutely fine." I don't know whether it was a shade premature, but I say every time these things happen, better too soon than too late, Denzel. What do you say?
I think so too. Better too soon than too late. It was a little early, but you saw the direction of the fight. When he turned his back, Miller was coming straight back to him. Good work, my boy. Miller came straight back to him and was going to finish him off. So the referee probably saved him from a worse beating than, you know, he was going to get if he'd have let it carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute 57 seconds of the 4th round, the contest has been stopped. The winner by technical knockout in the blue corner from Lewisham, London, Devorn Miller.
Patchy performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for
But
the
a very
brave and gallant
devastating
Lee
victory in the
Roberts.
end from Devorn Miller. It took a bit longer than what seems like the regulation 2 rounds to get it done, but inside 4 rounds, Lee Roberts stopped on his feet, and Miller gets his 9th professional victory. Roberts, very unhappy, clearly, felt he had a lot more to give tonight. I can see the argument, but again, I close out by saying, if it's going to be questionable, let it be too soon rather than too late in terms of the refereeing. So that is about it from us at ringside. I just want to quickly say very, very special thanks once more to Denzel Bentley. Always a pleasure working with you, Denzel. Thank you everybody for putting up with me. Paul Dempsey once more tonight on Box Nation and YouTube. And let's hear from Devon Miller.
Devorn Miller, it was back to winning ways for you here tonight. How amazing did it feel to get that win under your belt?
All right. Didn't perform to my best, but like the instruction from my team was to box slow, start slow, some ring time in there. But I got him out of there. No one else has done the job.
And that was your 7th stoppage in 9 victories. Was that the game plan coming in here tonight? Were you trying to stop him early?
I always try to get a stoppage. I wanted the stoppage in the 5th because I wanted to drag it out a little bit longer, but I saw the opportunity and followed up.
Brilliant. I was going to bring in your new manager, Freddie Warren, quickly. You've just signed Devorn Miller. I presume you've got big plans for him, get him out again soon?
Well, we've got massive plans. We've just seen the Southern area titles been vacated due to John Edge's fight for the English. We want the big fights now. This is the plan. We knew Lee Roberts was a tough fight. I spoke with Dee. I said, this is the perfect fight for you. This is no walk around. We didn't want no journeyman. It's actually the best I've seen Dee box. He boxed the plans. I think the addition to Dan Fitzgerald to the camp as well has made a massive difference in Dee's performance. He's took a difference. I've seen what he does in the gym. It's just putting what he does in the gym into the ring, and that's why I've always wanted to work with Dee. No names. I've seen him spar one of the top 10 heavyweights in the world. and have his way with him. So I know what he's capable of. I know he can win a British title, so that's the plan for him. But listen, Ellis Oro, John Edges, I think we're ready for him. That's what we want next, and we're coming. We're coming full steam ahead.
Well, congratulations on your fight tonight. Let's make that title fight happen soon.
Well, one more stoppage to close out the show tonight. We are joined by Alfie Warren. Alfie, another huge Box Nation night here at York Hall.
Yeah, brilliant night. You know, couple of the fights fell out. You know, not even going to go into the main event. Feel so sorry for Joanna. Supposed to be headlining here. It's the second time this has happened. I said to our manager, Sam Mullins, that we're going to sit down and, you know, try and get her out. I just felt so sorry for her. A lot of mucking about. Like I said, I don't want to go into it. But, you know, we could have easily cancelled this show tonight, but these guys had to get out. It wasn't fair on them. And they all delivered tonight. It was brilliant performances. And, you know, we topped it off with a good knockout. Devorn Miller's looking for a way to get back. Lee Roberts, you know, was going to be, you know, tagged to be a competitive fight. It was. And then, you know, that was the right stoppage. He is no position to continue no matter what he's done. But tonight, absolutely brilliant.
Alfie, tell us a little bit more about these Box Nation shows moving forward, because you're working with a lot of promoters now, bringing them all together with some big fight nights. Tell us about some of the people you're working with.
Yeah, no, you know, it's been brilliant that we've been able to, you know, what should I say, you know, provide the content for this channel. And it's been brilliant working with various promoters. You know, Dave Nelson's been a pivotal part of getting Box Nation revived for the live shows. He's been a pivotal part. Let's Go Management, you know, Premier Promotions. We've done a lot on Box Nation, and it's brilliant. Like I say, it's not about, you know, us working with all the fighters, you know, we're working with promoters, giving them a chance. These small promoters, you know, they've never been on stages like this, and it's good that we're delivering it for them. And you know what, tonight, you know, wasn't as big as what we planned, but it did deliver.
Umar, we've seen again tonight why these shows are so important to some of the Queensbury prospects. Some big wins for them. Again, talking about the Pullman Road card later in June. You know, we're seeing fighters go straight from Box Nation to big Queensbury fight nights. I'm sure we'll see some of these fighters we've seen tonight on some bigger cards.
Yeah, for sure. Look, Mason Payne, I thought, was impressive tonight. Looks a good class fighter. Thought he could have gone maybe second, third gear at times, but that will come. And I'm sure, you know, he'll be kept active, as we spoke about earlier. Elliot Elamasi, look, I asked him, do you want to go up to cruiserweight? He's happy at the weight, so he's confident in that. Obviously, as I said, he's an exciting fighter. He's got heavy hands, those long limbs. So, yeah, look, and Sam King obviously got the win after having that draw in the first fight with his opponent tonight. So they all had successful nights, and Miller had a good stoppage there to cap off the night. But yeah, in terms of the Queensbury guys, a positive night for all of them.
And Raven, we started off the show by talking about York Hall, the history here, another special night to add to that. Yeah, definitely. And like Alfie said, there's a great show. People really getting to put the effort in, get the chance to put on a show, put on a performance, and show what they're made of. Working with a lot of promoters, a lot of different managers, and this is, you know, one of the first stages to really thrust yourself onto the bigger platform. So putting on good displays here, exciting performances, it can catch people's eye, and you never know what might bring from that. So listen, that's another Box Nation live fight night complete. Thank you to everybody for joining us, from Umar, from Raven, from Alfie Warren and myself. Good night.